Oh, cool. I don't know why it's going around that way. Oh, I don't know. Says it better with glasses? Got it, says there. What? It's not working, is it? Is it working? I don't think I'm live. I don't know why I'm bothering, because I've got too much to do and yeah, chatting about. But oh, says I'm live. Oh, perhaps I should plug in me doodah, but expect there's no battery charge in them. Is that going to light up? Oh, it's flashing. I'm flashing. I bet that won't have a charge in either. Oh, unless it means it's. I'm going to try. I'll try plugging in. What's that? Oh, right mess. Right mess. Where's my thing? I can't plug it in, look, because it's. Can I do it that way? No, I can't do it that way. Hang on. Oh dear. I'm in a right pickle. Don't know why I'm going live. I just want to show you what I'm up to, folks. Creating more content for this silly channel. Oh, you probably can't hear me. Hang on. What's happened? I don't know. Right, is that on? I think that's on. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Mother? Hopefully Mother's not watching. I'll put that there. Can you hear me? You can hear me. Can you hear me with this? I don't know I can't see a thing. Can't see with glasses. I can't see without glasses on. Anyway, I'm sat here. Well, I'm kneeling here in a very messy bedroom, doing anything rather than try and tidy it up, because I've bought a new device, and for once in my life, well, not once, I've bought quite a lot of useful things, but this time it has proved to be very useful so far. It's called a Clone Alliance View Pro. I don't know if it's one of these, look, a View Pro. Here's some instructions. Basically, what it means is I will soon be able to inundate this channel with a load of old rubbish that I've recorded from my youth. I've been looking at some stuff that I recorded when I was 19 or 20. Was it 20? I think it was when I was 20. Blimey. Couldn't believe what I looked like when I was 20. This, I had hair there, but my waist, it looked, on the bit of video I was watching and laughing at, it looked like I had a 28-inch waist. 28. I wear 32-inch trousers now, but the belly spills over. So this thing I've got, as I said, I've got to be careful with the microphone, Rog. I'm listening. I'm multitasking. I'm listening to myself on hospital radio Calderdale. I'm trying, because a lot of it I didn't write on. You know, a lot of it's recorded on these mini discs. Look, and for some reason I didn't label them all, so I'm having to listen to them and try and work out when I recorded them, and I've managed to do 2 so far, just from the things I've been saying. So the last thing I dated, I think, is it the one that's in there now? Oh yes, I have. I've written it. I think I can eject that. So because I want to try and, when I put these up on my channel, I want to get them in order. I found my sort of demo that I can't even remember doing, that I did sort of demos. They didn't go live. Where's my thing? I need a case for this. Oh, can't do it. Yeah, so the first thing is a demo. Don't get mixed up, Rog, right? So anyway, that'll be going up first, the demo, where I'm very rough. I don't know, I must have done it for a couple of years, so I did get better at it. But anyway, I've managed to date this particular disc here to the 31st of January 2007. And I only managed to date it because I happened to mention I was watching Celebrity Big Brother, and it was the one when Shilpa Shetty won. And you might remember that there was a lot of I couldn't say this in the video, in the radio, controversy with Shilpa Shetty and Jade Goody and some other folk. And it was all this, oh, it's all this racist thing came out anyway. But I don't personally think it was a racist thing. It was just they didn't like each other. Jade didn't like her. So anyway, I was talking about that and watching Celebrity Big Brother and seeing Shilpa win. So I deciphered, I found out when the final was, and it was on a Sunday, I think. And then I must have done my show the following Wednesday to talk about it. So I found out that this show on this disc must have been the 31st of January 2007. So that can go in the pile of sorted, and then I've got so many more to sort. But then when I've sorted out all the mini discs, I've got lots and lots of recordable CDs. I think they were CDRs or RWs. When people used to record on CDs, do you remember that? This is antiquated now. No, well, not as antiquated as that. So it's a long slog listening and to try and get. Oh, I'm probably shouting. I don't know where I am. What's my voice like? Is it too loud? Just do some big thumbs up in yellow if it sounds okay, or down if it's too loud. Up if it's okay. Down. I don't know why I'm in this orientation because I tried doing it that way, and it wouldn't let me. I can't see anything. I think that's a thumbs up from Lisa. Just about see. Right. So yes, I bought this device. It's quite expensive, but I've bought over the years. I bought all these boxes and leads and things to try and get all this old analog stuff. Although this is digital, mini disc is a digital format, but I've been trying to get some of my old stuff onto my computer so I can share it with folk, and I have managed to do a few bits here and there, but this is giving the best quality. Obviously they were recorded in the 80s, early 90s, so the quality is not going to be 4K or anything, or even high def. But from what I've been doing recently in testing things out, the quality is the best I'm going to get. I've even been able to enhance it even more once I've got it onto an SD, because this device, I'll show you it in a minute, this device has managed to put analog stuff onto an SD card without the need of computer software, all this. It's so simple to use. I did have to buy an extra lead or two for some of my older equipment. But once it's on the SD card, I know what to do with it then. It just goes into my computer and I can import it and fiddle with it. So this is what I'm doing now. So you're going to be absolutely inundated with stuff on this channel of me looking a lot younger. So at the moment, I am copying from my Super VHS video recorder, which I've got 2 VHS video recorders left. I used to have loads. One of them's a more modern device that's got it's a VHS and a DVD player, and I think I can copy VHS to DVD. And it's a more recent, you can't buy them anymore anyway, but it's still more recent. But I think the Panasonic one I'm using, which was a Super VHS, which is ancient now, I think that's giving the best picture. So I'm trying to get the best quality picture I can. So I'm playing through that into my new Clona Alliance box. So at the moment, I'm actually copying the very first VHS I copied for Sue and Mandy. So I'm going to be uploading all my Rogers, as seen on TV, that's what I called them, copying from Vicky Wood. I'm going to be putting all those up on this channel, but not all in, it's going to have to be divided into reasonably watchable segments. At the moment, I can see a French and Saunders sketch that is copying over, because when I made these tapes for Sue and Mandy, it was a lot of me prattling on, me showing me Hoovers, the dogs, but also I'd put video clips and things. So I know I can't show all the video clips. Certainly this French and Saunders, I tried showing a bit of French and Saunders on a video fairly recently, and up comes the BBC saying, oh, you can't do that. I mean, I could have possibly put it up, but the BBC would have had any revenue from that video. And I thought, no, they don't deserve any of the revenue. So yeah, but what I want to do, I'm recording the whole thing. I don't know if it's a 3 or 4 hour tape. And I want a digital copy for myself, but then I will be showing you sort of edited bits, more or less the whole thing, but with the copyrighted stuff clipped out. This is going to be basically me just chatting and being an absolute arse, I think. But anyway, so I found, yeah, the one I've been looking at yesterday and today was, I think, number 3 in the series. And it involves me opening some presents on my 20th birthday from Sue and Mandy. And it's also got about half an hour of me taking my video camera to work when I used to work in York. And this was when I had the big thing, the big full-sized Panasonic M7 it was, that took these. Can you imagine how big the thing was? It's probably why I've got all my back trouble now. So, I'd have to have it. It was no viewfinder, not like the little thing I use now. You had to look through the thing to see the tiny black and white image of what you were filming. So anyway, I was nearly wetting myself because there was a lot of this colleague called Claire, who was an absolute hoot. She says some quite rude things, not too rude. I think it'll be okay for YouTube, but I've forgotten how funny she was. And this has reminded me, I always used to have a particular friend at work, always female, because normally I've normally worked in mainly female, yeah, colleagues are mainly female, and there's always one special sort of work colleague, and sort of early on, she was mine, and she was absolutely hilarious. I've got one, I'm videoing her. You'll see all this. In one section, we're in the basement of the shop. It was called Inside Story. It was in Parliament Street in York. If you know York, it was opposite Marks and Spencer. It's empty now, but it was Inside Story, and then it was Littlewoods. So I started there when it was Inside Story, still a Littlewoods company, but they sold all household stuff. And I was in the basement we had bedding and towels and things. Anyway, there's a segment where she opens the till, which you're not allowed to do, but she opened the till full of money. We used money back then. She takes wads of cash, shoves them down her bra, and then runs off out up the stairs. Obviously, she didn't take the money, I have to say. It was put back. And then there's a lot of larking about with the little mannequins. And yeah, it's it's so funny. I don't know how funny you'll find it, because I suppose you had to be there. But it's quite good, because it starts off at the beginning of the day when people are coming in, and there's a lot of larking about. I don't know how I managed. The manager is even. We're having a staff meeting. There's only about 5 of us, and there was the manager reading out the figures, how much we took that day, and if it was when it was, it was, this is 18% down on last year, blah blah. So he was telling us how much the shop took and how much the restaurant took. So I can't believe I've completely forgotten about that chap. Andy Weaver, he was. That was his name. And so then, that was the start of the day, and then there's a lot of larking about, and then it went through, and then sort of ended the day when people were cashing up. And I managed to sort of condense that down to about half an hour. But yeah, the quality of it is the best I've ever been able to do it, digitize it. So I'm quite pleased. But of course, it's recorded in the old 4.3 format. If you can stretch old stuff, but then it often distorts, or you can crop it, but then you lose bits. So I've just been going down memory lane. I mean, crikey, when I was 20, crikey, it's a long time ago. And apart from it was making me laugh, but it's sort of a bit, oh heck, where's my life gone? When you see yourself with chiseled jaw, with hair, with a tiny, tiny little waist and a tight bum. I mean, I think what's gone wrong here? Cake, cake and biscuits. That's what's gone. That's what's gone wrong. Anyway, I'm going to turn you around and see what's what. It's all a mess. Mm, Right. So just don't look at the mess. This is how I do stuff, folks. I know. I should have spent the day tidying up, and well, I've had a productive day editing lots of videos, because I do need to keep up on for my other channel mainly. So this is some of my older equipment. Um, so this is probably my oldest thing. Well, not my oldest thing, but my oldest piece of technology. But it is a super VHS. Can we see what tape? There we are, as seen on TV1. So we're 1 hour 20 minutes in, and so at the moment we've got a bit of French and Saunders, so that will not you will not be seeing that, but most people will know. So this is the thing. It didn't have this. It comes with where is it? I thought I'd seen it. Here it is. It came with this very plasticky stand, which is really rubbish, but I had this Manfrotto metal thing, and it fits, screws in, so that's much better. So basically, I had to do a little bit more jiggery pokery with this older thing. So I had to buy this extra lead that goes in, and it's plugged in around the back. But you can plug HDMI. Look, pictures going. You can plug HDMI stuff. So if your device has got HDMI output, it's really simple. So a lot of my stuff does, but that didn't. So it seems to be doing a very good job. It's hard to show you, but that's from 1989 VHS recording, and I think it's probably a copy, because I don't know if I've got the original, because Sue did send me some back, so I'm not sure. I could only find one, but I'm a bit of a technophobe. I'm not interested in technology per se, apart from I need stuff to do a job. So I don't know how I came across this. It's sort of a random thing, and I looked at the reviews. I saw a couple of videos on YouTube and thought, this could be what I want, because the other stuff I need to transfer is the other video format I started to use after the big VHS was mini DV tapes. So that's a Sony format, and again, I've tried with some success putting some of that stuff on YouTube, but I think using this, it's going to improve the picture. And it's not, it's just going to go straight into an SD card. The SD card is, you can't see, it's just underneath there, you just push it in. And then it's so easy. Once it's on the SD card, it's so easy to put into my computer, and I can, as I said, I can fiddle with it. So yes, I've got lots. I haven't got very many. I might have about 20 tapes to sort of go through again, because when I first got a DVD recorder, I went through all my 400 plus videotapes that I copied from TV and got most of that stuff onto disc, and then got rid of the tapes. But some of the tapes I've got, even though, I mean, I think some of my original tapes I'll try and keep. I mean, the tapes don't last. That's the trouble. Well, all the videotapes I've got so far, they've been playable. That just says dogs, and that's what we used to do back in the day, folks. I've put a label over that. If you didn't want anything recorded over, you'd have to block. Well, you take off. You get a screwdriver, or you could normally use your fingernail and remove a little tab. And then if you tried to record onto it, it wouldn't let you. But if you wanted to use the tape again, you'd have to cover up that hole. You see. There's something nice about this sort of old-fashioned technology, old tapes. But yeah, that says dogs. There'll be dogs on there. I don't know, dogs that have long gone, I'm afraid. So I've put a lot of French and Saunders on. So yeah, there's going to be an awful lot of stuff. I'll be able to. Oh no, there's only this. Oh, good. Some people have stopped watching. There was 33 people watching. 33, some of you might know, is like an evil number or something. Once you hear 33, though, you'll be hearing it in a lot of things, and you'll be reading 33 in headlines, and you'll be hearing 33. Listen out for 33. It's amazing how often it crops up. Today, I was listening to something, and they just happened to mention 33 MPs voted on this, blah, blah. But just trust me, listen for 33 and you'll hear it all the time in news stories. So look at that. I've got things I've got to put away. They have been ironed, those. Can you believe it? So, oh yeah, that's my mini disc player, which I hardly ever use. It's mint condition, and they go for quite a lot of money on eBay. So as soon as I've got everything I need off the mini discs, I'm going to sell that, and I can sell the mini discs once I've erased them. But that, I think that needed, yeah, I don't think it records digitally into that. I had to connect it to the box using two analog cables, but it's only the sound, and it's good enough for YouTube, for my old radio shows to put up on there. And then I've got a bit more modern stuff, a couple of DVD recorders there, other bits and pieces. Right, hello, James. Hello, Oscar. Hello, John. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Gary. Hello, Layla. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Mark. Hi-Fi by Leon. Are there any home improvement videos coming out soon? Well, I've not made any improvements. Ooh, hang on. Let me just stretch my legs, because well, there'll be the ensuite, which is way back in January or February when that was done. I'm still not happy with it. If I had the money, I'd get someone in to take it all out and do it properly. I'd have the people that did the bathroom. It's just like it's almost like being burgled. That's how I feel with the job they've done on my ensuite. It's like being burgled and inviting the burglar in and paying them. It's not that bad. When you see it, you'll think, oh, what's he going on about? There's quite a few niggly bits that you wouldn't expect to have when you've spent quite an amount of money. So that's that. Oh, there is I've got a video that I've made, sort of a chatty video and a bit of a tour of the mess. That'll be coming up next, probably. There's more caravan videos coming up. The last video you saw was Barmouth, but there's another Barmouth video. But I've been on holiday since that to, where did we last go? Where was it? Where's near Western Super? Oh, it was another. Where's? Oh yeah, Somerset. Yeah, we went to Somerset. Western Supermare's a dump. A drunk, drugged up man touched my daisy outside a chip shop. It's called Papa's or something. We just wanted to. Mark always has fish and chips on the last day of holiday, so we drove into Western Supermare, which wasn't far from where we were staying, in the sort of early evening. And I looked online which chip shops, and there was this one called Papa's. It was recommended, and they did a vegetarian burger. So we went there with quite a long time waiting, and I was waiting outside, and Mark was waiting inside for the order. And this drunk came up and started touching my daisy. I thought, and I looked around for help, and everyone just looked away. And I thought, oh no! Anyway, he was harmless enough, but I didn't kiss Daisy that night, I can tell you. But yeah, Western Supermare. I heard someone say it was a dump who's from there, but I thought, well, I'll look for myself, and yes, it's a dump. Wasn't very nice. Well, the bits we saw weren't very nice at all. Oh, cracky. Still on French and Saunders there, aren't we? Is that how you're able to put the Dyson commercial videos on your channel? No, probably not. The Dyson, a lot. Well, they're quite more modern. I mean, I've had a DVD recorder for a long time, more or less since they became available. And so a lot of stuff I recorded onto DVD, which was easier to digitize and put on YouTube. Not as easy as that thing there, because now any new stuff that I digitize is so much easier. Because previously, I mean, if it was an older video, if I'd record it on VHS, then I'd have to convert it to a DVD. Then I'd have to put it into my computer. My later computers don't have DVD slots, so I'd have to have a DVD drive, and then I'd have to sort of import it using a special program, and then it would have to go into my editing software, and it was such a faff. But now, if I find old stuff on DVD, the DVD player just plugs directly in, and it'll just copy it onto the SD card. I can even plug it into my Apple TV. I can plug it into anything. Basically, record all stuff, not just old stuff like this, all modern things. I can make copies of. So if I get Netflix, which I've just got Netflix again briefly, um, but say I want to, my mum likes The Crown and she doesn't have Netflix anymore, so I could copy the entire new series of The Crown onto an SD card and then just burn it onto a DVD or two for my mum to watch, or three, whatever. So yeah, that is very good. That box, it's gonna give me a lot more content for you to be bored with. Something so well. I might have been clicking and rattling. I'm sitting still now. Gary Ian Anderson has got lots of ethnicities in his thumbs up. He's covering every base there. Oh, the microphone's rubbing. Oh, hang on. I don't know how long ago that was. Hang on, I'll just try and put my mic on. Ow! Onto me. You can't see anything. I don't know if that's going to help. Oh, what's going on here? Have we finished with French and Saunders? Something else is coming up. Why is it blank? Oh dear, what's happened there? Oh, it's still playing. I think I could be talking with a blank screen, but I've turned the volume down. No, Oscar, I'm afraid I can't make a video of my Dyson vacuum collection, because, well, they're not all here. I've sold a load of them. But no, I won't be able to do that. Not for a long time. Oh dear. How is Mila? It works. It's still working. It is scary where the time goes, Sarah. Oh, I don't know what's going on here. I really don't know why I've got a blank screen here. Because there shouldn't be. Because it's only at 1 hour 33 minutes. And ow, hang on. Oh, let's oh, why is that happen? Why is that? Let me just turn up the volume of that. I don't know what's going on. Yes, it has a remote speaker. Hmm. Oh, hang on. Walk through the bedroom. Oh dear. Right, I'm giving a tour of the house and it's not showing. Oh heck. Why is that? Why has that happened? Gonna have to stop recording and it's saving. Wonder what's gone wrong there. I wonder if I've knocked something. Let's just turn that off. Let's open that up. It's the trouble with old stuff, you see. It's not very reliable. Let's have a look. Oh no, look, I can't see any pictures on the tape. That'll be why. Damn, look. Oh, now it's working, look. Oh, no, I'll have to, oh, it's okay because, let's just rewind, because I won't be able to show the French and Saunders stuff. I'll be able to splice all this back together. That's my bedroom. Oh God, did you see that typewriter? This is before before the interweb, you know. Right, is that recording? That's recording. So don't do it again. Oh, it's doing it again. I wonder if it's. Hang on, hang on. It's probably. I don't know why it's doing that. It's probably because it saw a blank screen and it stopped. All right, hang on, hang on. Just have to try and. All right, it's recording. Gone blank. Oh, there we go. Right, it should be recording that now. That's my yeah, that's my old bedroom. That was a chair that converted into a bed for any guests. Not that I had any. I didn't have any friends. Nothing changes. Oh, hang on. Oh, it's a vacuum. Yeah, it doesn't look, you know, looking through my iPad, it doesn't look very good. But when this is on, when that goes onto my computer and I press the enhance button, the colors come back. And then, you know, I've done a few tests. There's me typewriter. I used to type my letters to Sue on. When I've done a few, when I've done some tests, you know, and I've put some videos up on YouTube to see what they look like on my big telly, and they look surprisingly good for the age. Look, a record player. That's all the CDs. Do you see that? That's all the CDs I had at the time. That's a video recorder by my bed. Greys were very in the 80s. This is late 80s. We had net curtains up, big windows, you see. So I'm really pleased I've got this old footage. I mean, I wish I had more, but you know, we didn't have the facility to record stuff, you know, like we do now, because we had I had a camera when I was young, but you had to put film in it, and you had to pay to have the film developed, and you couldn't be taking dozens of photos and just picking out the best ones because you had to pay for each print, even if it turned out bad. So my dad had a cine camera when we were young, and I've got footage of that cine film that I can put up on here if you want to see me as a little toddler. That's my mum and dad's bedroom back then, with MFI furniture and M&S bedding. But it's so, I wish I had video of other houses. I've barely got a few. Cracky, there's me. Look, that's the camera. um, yeah, I barely have any photos. I have a few photos of the house, but I wish I had the ability to record video. But so yeah, I've got lots of old house tours, and you can see how this house changes. Oh, crikey, there's a telephone answering machine. So I'm really pleased that I've got something to look at. But, yeah. Yes, Elfin Knight. I mean, I couldn't believe. I mean, Daisy, she's no teeth at the front, so she couldn't have bitten him, but he didn't know that. He started fondling her before he even asked if he could stroke her. But he did sort of drunkenly say, "Oh, I should have asked." And I said, "Yes, you should." Well, I thought, yes, indeed, you should have asked before laying your nicotine-stained fingers on my princess. But anyway, she did give him a bark. I think she sensed the tension through the lead. She sensed my tension, and she thought, "Oh, perhaps this chap shouldn't be touching me." So she did give him a bark, and he went on his merry way, staggering down the road. I've got some footage of Somerset Holiday. It's all recorded on my phone. There's a bit of Weston-super-Mare. There's a bit of Breen Down, where I believe they filmed some of that Bridgerton show or something. Um, where else did we go? I can't remember. It's not that long ago. I can never remember where we've been or what we've done. Uh, oh, Sue's here. Hi, Sue. Look, Sue. I'm sure I don't know how much you've seen, Sue, but look, I'm recording Roger Lang as seen on TV one into this special new box. Crikey, that's more my dad's slides. I was watching the you'll be interested in seeing this again, Sue. Um, this is not. It wasn't. This was some seen on TV3 on my 20th birthday when I was opening presents from you and Mandy, and there was you gave me this alarm clock shaped like a baseball that was supposed to switch off. When the alarm went off, you're supposed to throw it, and it would have it's supposed to turn off. Anyway, I was fiddling with it, and there's a springy thing in the middle with the actual watch face, and it sprung up and hit me in the face. It's quite funny. So that will be coming up, but this is number one, so I'll be sharing a lot of this on my channel once it's all digitized and I can do things with it. Oh, look at that bedroom. Those doors. We don't. Okay, that was the bathroom when we moved in. That was, you can't see from this, but you will when it's uploaded. The colours will be better. But that's avocado sweet. Look. Oh, look at that. Lisa's still got a typewriter. I had a few. I started typing on one of my dad's, and it was one of these, do, 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 mechanical things. And then I sort of upgraded and started writing to Sue. I upgraded to an electronic brother, and it had these cartridges. The ribbon was in these replaceable cartridges. And then I think I might have upgraded again because I had one that had a correction ribbon in it as well, so you could just press a correction button and it would, correct it. But I can't have had one before because one of the presents Mandy gave me for my 20th was a box of liquid paper or Tipex. So I must have had to do that with the first typewriter, get the old. We used to sniff that at school to get high. You never got high on it, but that's what we did at school. We used to sniff Tipex. It was quite strong smelling. So you'd get a little brush and you'd have to brush out the word you got wrong, wait for it to dry, and then type over it again. Oh dear, where's that? That's the living room. Oh yes, oh that's when we had a tree. It was a lovely apple blossom tree. There was a man who lived over the road. We called him Captain Birdseye. Whoops. Well, it would have been Sue. Well, having a video camcorder back then was, yeah, would have been quite high tech. Sue says Mandy and I used to absolutely love when a video would arrive in the post. Well, Sue, I'm so glad that I made the videos for you because now I can see them again, and soon a lot of folk will be able to see them if they're interested. Oh, this I don't know which dog that is, but obviously, oh, is that? Oh, it might be Solo. Was it Suki? Don't know who that is. Could be Suki or Solo. It won't be Lucy. We didn't have Lucy then. That's Sasha. Oh, bless her. Oh, that was a huge fireplace we had. That was taken out a few years after. Oh, look at Sasha. Oh, she's a beautiful dog. They'll start crying if I'm not careful. Oh, Sashi. Simon says my parents used to rent a camera in the 80s. It was so expensive. Well, my dad bought this video camera, this Panasonic one, and I started using it when he was out. He didn't know. So possibly this was filmed without my dad's knowledge. But I did, a while later, I bought it off him, and I remember paying him £1,500 for it. And obviously, I didn't have £1,500. I must have paid him every month or something for a couple of years or whatever I pay. I know I paid on installments. So so yeah, I've been recording, you know, for many, many years. I mean, the first things I started recording, and that's something else I can put onto YouTube. A lot of it, well, it's very rude, but I've got cassette tapes of me mucking about, and I've taken it to school. So I've got a tape of me and classmates in dinner hour mucking about, doing sort of teenage boy things. So it was very, very crude. I don't think I'd get it past YouTube. Um, but yeah, I've always, from early on, I've been fiddling with recording um, sound first, and then obviously video. Video came along and killed the radio star. Look at that oven. That was a good oven cooker. That a Canon. That's where we used to have the gas boiler. Oh God, look at that. Oh dear. Pine was in. Ooh, some electronics there. Oh, not electronics. Some electrical appliances. Anyway, you'll be seeing all these on my channel. Oh, that's a digital scale. You see, my mum was quite with it. She did like the gadgets. And we had a computerized washing machine as well, and a dishwasher. Ah, dearie me. Oh, just oh yes, that thing on a hose. Tap on a hose, like one of those now, actually. Yeah. So oh crikey, this is very early on because we've still got a lawn that went. So this is probably the first year we moved in. That's a Hot Point dishwasher, which was made by Bosch. Ooh, and that's a shame I didn't video more of that washing machine. That's the Hoover computer controlled washing machine. Computer control 1100. Oh, look at that. Ooh, might put some of these bits on my other channel that have got the appliances. Frog says you could smell Tippex across the entire classroom. It was quite potent, Tippex. I wonder if you can still buy Tippex. I've I had to look up if you could still buy starch because somebody's commented on Twin Tub video on my other channel. How do you starch with this machine? I thought, do people still use starch? And the only starch I remember, and I think my eldest brother used it on his shirts, and it was a spray. You'd spray it on your clothes, and then you'd iron. And you can still buy that starch, spray on starch. But who? I can't think many folk, unless they're in the army or something, would want to starch their garments. People like things to be comfortable and loose and soft. They don't like, you know, razor sharp creases in the shirts these days, do they? Oh, look, I'm actually putting some powder in the washing machine. Oh, look at that. Oh, those are days where you put a huge cup full of soap powder in. Oh, that was a lovely machine. That lasted a long time, that one. Probably the longest of the washers my mum had. She had a Hoover New Wave after that. That was the shortest life washer she had. Oh, look at that. Oh, I'm getting all misty-eyed over the appliances. Well, they weren't mine, but they were as good as. No appliance was ever purchased in that house that I didn't have a say in. Oh, dearie me. Sue says, it's going to be such a trip down memory lane. Can't wait to rewatch them. I'm going to go through my cupboard. I think I might have another tape. Maybe a Christmas one. I'm not sure. Well, whatever you can find, Sue, because I know you did send me a lot back. And I think this one is probably the original. I'm not sure. But yeah, if you can find anything, Sue, that I've recorded on tape, whatever, even if it's just one more you think you might have, that would be fantastic. Well, I think I pressed the white I pressed the white balance button on the camera just then. Oh, look, oh dearie me. Pine furniture, all that awful thing. Who's that? That could be Gemma. Oh, she was grumpy. Oh, Gemma. She was a grumpy old dog. I think she lived till she was 18. Look at her. Beautiful. I'll see you again, Jem, one day, I think. I mean, I don't know how interesting these are going to be for people. I mean, I'm finding them fascinating. I mean, as a piece of history, some of you might be interested in some of the things I will be showing you, some of the old tech and how houses were furnished. I say this is just the first tape I recorded for Sue and Mandy. There were several more after that, and the house got upgraded, furniture changed, carpets changed. Do you remember the fashion for stenciling and sponging your walls? You'd paint your walls one colour, and then you'd get an old sponge, and then you'd go over the top. Oh, there's Captain Birdseye recording. Then we'd go over the top with another colour. We had, I think, at one stage, we had some green walls, and they were sponged over with peach colour paint, and then we had borders everywhere. Oh, jardinières, terrarium things. Remember those things you put plants in, like mini greenhouses or bottle gardens? They were big back then. Dearie me. Oh god. So yes, as I say, that thing I've only just got that has paid for itself. It's already. I mean, it was £305, which, but it's going to be able to digitize everything from the cassette tapes, up to DVDs. Um, so it's going to be worth it for all the extra content and just for me to be able to get my precious memories onto something that's shouldn't deteriorate you know like a video cassette. Oh, I'm gonna have to get little bits of this and put it on my main channel for the old fans of the washers and dishwashers and things. I didn't think, when I was recording this, I wasn't aware of editing, or I didn't know that you weren't supposed to zoom in and out. I mean, I could edit. The first test I've done, I've edited very slight editing, nothing much, a little bit of tweaking, but I think I want to keep them authentic because this is how people, when they were given a camera, they just recorded any old crap. I can't wait to see this on my big telly when it's all done. I wonder what's in the shed. Oh, I don't know why I've got two strimmers there. Well, Sasha was Carol. Sasha was my dad's dog, really. And when he got very ill and was more or less housebound towards the end, but she was always with him, and she always knew if he was having a bad episode because she was always by his side, and she was such a special. She was special. She sort of knew. She had this sort of instinct. As I said, she wouldn't leave my dad's side. I think yeah, she died after my dad because my mum used to say my dad wouldn't have coped if she died before him. I'm sure they're together again. Oh, I have a bit of a weep in my next video coming up. But you do, if you're talking about emotional things, it's. Uh, oh, Sue, I think I might have put some of that ship of fools. Oh dear. I can imagine. Yes, I was very into erasure then. I think I was wearing a Next rugby top. I think it was white with navy stripes or something. Oh dearie me. But anyway, I mean, those tapes are only made for an audience of two, and they've got a potential to be seen by maybe 20 or 30 people when they get up on YouTube. You never know. Oh, you're very late, AC. I just happened to be. Oh, you're 53 minutes late. I just typical of me. I stopped what I was doing. I wanted to show folk that I'm recording old stuff to put on this channel, and because I've got this new special box, and I'm just at the moment copying an old videotape. That's how old it is. That's the washer we had. That's we bought that in 86 because we moved to York in 86, or might have been 85. I know it was pretty new, the washer, when we moved. And of course, I encouraged my mum to get that one. I think it was from Comet in a place called Three Bridges, and we sort of a panic buy, and they had one on show, and there was a slight scratch. So my dad negotiated some money off, and we bought it back in his Fiat 127. Of course, I was very giddy and excited to have a Hoover Computer Control 1100. Well, nobody's died so far, I don't think, AC. I'm not doing this video. because somebody's died. I'm just doing it because I just felt like it. Michelle says, well, this brings back memories. We had a video camera that took VHS tapes. It was a pain on the shoulders. Most footage is someone making a groaning about the pain. Carol says, your dad and Sasha are together, Roger, and I believe in Rainbow Bridge. So do I, Carol. I believe I'll be greeted by the dogs first. I've said this before in videos. I will be greeted by the dogs rushing up first, and then the people. And they'll all remember me, and they'll all be in their prime. That's when my mum she was into pigs, my mother. But remember those fires? They were pretty effective though, you know. We had one like that in the previous house when we didn't, before we had central heating, and you'd get downstairs on a school day, and you'd get in front of that fire, and your parents would say, "Don't put all the bars on, or don't put all the whatever they were called." I mean, the first fire we had was an electric one, you know, with the plastic coal and the two red bulbs, and then you'd have the little sort of fan things that, as the bulb got hot, the fan things would rotate and it would look like the coals were burning. I remember hoovering those out many times because they were dust magnets and you could take the plastic coals off. I remember taking the plastic coals off and washing those in the sink, and then getting the hoover out and sucking all the dust out and cleaning the little metal vein things. Oh dear. No, AC, I was talking about my dog Sasha. She's with my dad, but my dad's long, long, long gone. Hello, Audrey. Oh, yes. Best to watch classic Coronation Street, not the rubbish that they call Coronation Street. Sasha, yes, Sasha's a dog, yes. I'm back in the bedroom. I don't know what I'm trying to look at through the net curtains there. Being a little bit, oh, look at that old car. Being a bit of a peeping Tom, I think, through the nets. Oh, don't put all the bars on. Yes. Well, that was when, because electric fires would have the one or two bar. I remember actually, I don't know why I was quite young, but I remember grabbing the bar of one of the electric fires we had and turning it on, expecting just to feel it starting to get warm. I didn't realise, foolishly, that it had a lot of electricity running through it. So I'm still here to tell the tale. I don't know how. I didn't understand at the time that they got hot because electricity was running through. I just thought they just warmed up like a, you know, I don't know what's going on. Oh, I think, what's that? Oh, so that's something Sue must have bought me, I think. Oh, look that. I think it says you're special to me. That's where all the magic happened. Of course, no magic happened there. Oh dear. Well, it did eventually, but not for many, many, many years after that was recorded. Yeah, so well, I was never alone. I was never alone in that bed, I have to say. I didn't sleep alone. I would have had a black furry thing with me. I'd have first had my Solo, then my Lucy, um, and then I've got my Daisy May. Who's that? Oh, it's Sasha again. Oh crikey, that is old. White socks. I'd never wear white socks now. I don't own any white socks. They've got connotations, I believe. I don't know, but no, I would never wear. I don't wear white socks or white underpants. No, it's all dark colours. Oh, Sasha, she's sniffing. Don't sniff down below. What are you sniffing at? Oh, no. We don't want to see that. Get off that. Get off, Gemma. Oh, Gem. I don't know how many dogs we had then, but I've seen the black and tan one. I don't know if that was Suki. I think it was Suki. Oh, that's enough of that. So something else will be coming up. I don't know what. Oh, it's not going to go. Oh, here. Now some music to wake you up. This will probably not be included on the finished thing because it'll be copyrighted. Who is it? Oh, is it Erasure? Well, I can't turn it up because again. There we go. Yeah, Erasure. Andy Bell. They're still going. Well, the bathroom is finished, AC. You've seen the bathroom, haven't you? You're talking about the ensuite. My ensuite's been sort of finished, but I'm not showing you that yet because it's not tidy. I've got a mirror to put back up and some other bits to do. Yeah, so yeah, back then I still liked ABBA, but I was into Erasure and Krista Berg, bit of Tina Turner. Ooh, who else did I listen to back then? Oh, quite a lot of Scottish bands from they were popular. Deacon Blue, Danny Wilson, Hue and Cry. There was sort of an influx of Scottish bands. Wet 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 at a certain point in the 80s and early 90s. Um, and in the 90s, I got into country music. It's gyrating quite a lot. Is old Andy there? I've not posted the ensuite after. I've done a before and after for the bathroom. Well, if I put the music on, Gary, it'll probably come up saying, "Oh, it's copyrighted," blah blah blah. Anyway, this one's a circus. You'll be able to see it on YouTube if you want to listen to Erasure the Circus. I don't know what program I've got that from. I hope it's not Jimmy Savile presenting. Can't find anything with Jimmy Savile on anymore, can you? Lisa says, I was into folk music and Nick Drake by the 90s. I did like the Brit pop music too. The 90s, I can't really remember much about the 90s. I don't know why. I remember a lot about the 80s, but the 90s, well, from the 90s onwards, it's sort of a blur. A blur, no pun intended. I think they were big in the 90s, weren't they? Blur. I didn't like that sort of stuff. Um, always kept listening to ABBA and Barbara Dixon. And now it's a man who shot to fame in the early 70s called Clifford T. Ward, who I absolutely adore at the moment. Absolutely. I never knew anything about him until recently, and he's fantastic. Um, I'm in love with Clifford T. Ward. I want to have his babies. Unfortunately, he's long gone, and I don't think he wasn't that way inclined. And he's not really my cup of tea because he had long hair and stuff. But uh, I just don't know. He's got the allure. He certainly entertains me musically. Anyway, some very beautiful and quirky songs he sings. You can look him up on YouTube. Clifford T. Ward. Oh, that was from Top of the Pop. What's coming up next? I wonder. Oh, look, it's me. I was into my jumpers. Now it looks quite bad from through this, but when it's properly done, there'll be more colour. I'm being very Kenny Everett there, I think. Look at that. Can you believe that's me? I don't know what I'm talking about. Shall we have a listen? Where's the doodah? Those were, I can't show this. Um, those jeans, I think, were popular. I think they were called ice white jeans. That was a popular jean in the 80s, ice white. And I think I did have a pair of white jeans. So the sort of white jeans that women could wear once they've used a certain product, if you know what I'm talking about. When they were first advertised on TV, I remember my grandfather was still alive, and he was quite shocked that women's sanitary protection was being shown on TV. And I think it was Claire Rayner, Agony Aunt Claire Rayner, first advertised them in sort of a talk show setting with an audience, and they were talking about wings and stuff. This is from Victoria Wood, a Seen on TV series one, which um, I was a teenager when that started. I was living in Sussex when I first saw Victoria Wood as seen on TV, and I think that was the first time I sort of knew about Victoria. She was doing odd things, bits and bobs, but it was this show that I can quote word for word. You know, couldn't get off last night. Even had Dick throw a brick at my head to stun me. Oh, she was such. I did cry when she died. 'Cause, I can watch her stuff over and over again. I can't count the number of times I've watched Dinner Ladies and all her stuff. She did a drama called Housewife 49. Where she played straight. It wasn't comedy. That was fantastic. Everything she's done. That was such a sad loss because I think she'd still be doing something. Let's hope I can't see Vicky going woke. Let's hope she wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have wanted a woke Victoria. That would have been awful. She was so good. Oh, poor Greggles. He's a Madonna fan. Well, I hate to break it to you, Greggles, but whatever that entity that's presenting itself as Madonna, I don't think that's Madonna. It's not the Madonna I used to listen to. Oh, I can't listen to Madonna anymore, I'm afraid. You're a bit of a shag, Roger. Well, I still am. A shag pile. Um, well, Peregrine, you will see loads of the 80s stuff. That's because of this marvelous little device. This you will. It's so easy now. I've only just got it, so you'll start seeing my older stuff up on my channel. But it's so easy now to get old videotape onto an SD card using the box and a few old cables. Um, so yeah, it's made things so much easier. I've just been obsessed with looking at my old stuff and trying to, but it's going to take a long time to digitize all my old media from all the different formats that I bought over the years, that we were conned into buying. And then, do you remember being conned into buying the same albums you had? Who's done that? Because I was a cassette boy, um, because it was the most convenient format for a younger person in the 80s. So I had little cassette players and things. And then, of course, when CDs came along and I got my first CD player, the first albums I bought were basically ones I already had. I think it's probably ABBA was probably one of the first. I already had the album on cassette tape, but I rebought them. And there's some ABBA albums I bought several times over because then they would reintroduce a deluxe version with extra tracks, and so they know how to squeeze blood out of a stone. Some of these companies, but I was glad to do it. I mean, when CDs came along, we didn't have the hiss of the tape. Didn't have to fast forward any tracks you didn't like. You just press skip, and you got brilliant sound. I'm so nostalgic at the moment because I'm so glad to be born when I was, because people of my generation, some of you watching might be from my generation, have remember just, oh, hang on, my thing's rubbing against my doodah. Um, will know, and we know an analog world. We know about telephones that were plugged into the wall that you couldn't walk about with. So that's the, a lot of people didn't have telephones. I don't remember never having one. We were always lucky. We normally had stuff. I wasn't a deprived child. My father made sure we had telephones. We even had two telephones at one stage. I remember when that was put in, a trim phone. They had that in their bedroom, and we had a telephone. This is our house in Sussex. We had a telephone on the wall in the kitchen, and a trim phone in my mum's and dad's bedroom, a green one. So that's, you'd have to dial. And then the next sort of thing that came out were cordless phones with the aerial that you had to pull up. And so that was new and that was exciting to us. And then, of course, sort of early mobile phones. Of course, most people didn't have the earliest ones, but they started becoming cheaper and cheaper. And then people got mobile phones. It's like, crikey, we can speak to someone while we're walking about outside. And then when the internet, of course, I remember before the internet, and I remember getting my first computer, which was my brother's Macintosh. That couldn't go on the internet. I used to write to Sue on that. After I got rid of the typewriter, I would write my letters on my Macintosh Classic and then print them out. And then the first computer that actually went on the internet was a Macintosh Centris that my brother gave me, and I managed to get on the internet with that very early. I was very early internet adopter. That's when, if you were on the internet, your phone line was um, in use, so nobody could ring you up. And if someone tried to ring you when you were on the internet, they'd get some funny noises down the phone, I think. And I remember having that internet, and you'd go on websites, and it would take minutes for a page to load. You'd be waiting for a whole. I mean, everything's so quick and instant now. You just have to wait. And then I remember getting Wi-Fi for the first time, and I think, oh crikey, this is amazing. We can walk around the house, and so who knows what's to come. Hopefully, it's not going to be as dystopian as some people are making out. But when you've had both, folks, you do appreciate. I appreciate the analog world, and sometimes I'd like to go back to it. I do miss the days of mail order catalogues. I mean, everything is so easy to look at on the internet now and buy. But there's nothing beats when you're a kid looking through those big, thick, twice yearly mail order catalogues or the Argos catalogue and looking at stuff you want to buy or you want your parents to buy for you for your birthday and Christmas. And then when I first got my own catalogue, when I was too young to have a catalogue, when I used my mum's name and had my own catalogue in her name, but she knew about it. I never defaulted or anything, I always paid up. And that was the days where you'd have this little plastic folder full of your envelopes and your order forms, and you'd fill out what you wanted and how many weeks you want to pay, whether you want to pay on 20 weeks or 40 weeks, and then you'd pop a stamp on. I think most of them were free post, and you pop them in your letterbox, and then you'd wait and wait, and you would have no clue when the items were coming. You couldn't go online and track them and see the van moving along and know exactly when he's going to turn up at your door. You just had to wait up to 28 days. And then it would be a total surprise when the thing came. Oh, that it was. I mean, to younger people, they'd think, "Oh, that sounds awful," but no, it wasn't. And I don't know how to say. I don't know. Could I do without the internet? It's a double-edged sword, the internet. Um, but I think people of my generation could probably cope better than younger people without the internet. If that ever goes down, I mean, I earn my living from the internet though, so I wouldn't want that to happen. If I didn't earn my living from the internet, I could probably get by without it, to be honest. Oh, look, it's Acorn Antiques. Oh, Mrs. Overall, Celia and Babs. Oh, Gary, His first computer was an Acorn Electron, and used to remember the bleeping. Well, it wasn't really a bleeping when the games were loading. It was more of a. I've got an Acorn Electron. I've still got mine. That was my second computer. My first computer was a Sinclair ZX81. Oh, crikey, that was awful. But for the time, it was fantastic. But then my brother was really into computers. Well, he still is, my eldest brother. He got himself a BBC Model B, which I played, the games on. And then when the Electron came out and was at a cheap price, I managed to get one Christmas, and I could play most of the games I could play on the BBC Micro. But yes, I've still got my Electron, and I can even, apparently, I can connect my Electron to that if I want to record games directly onto my SD card. I haven't tried that yet, but yes, I think I can. I think I'll be able to do that. So yeah, I mean, I love the 80s. It's my favorite decade. I love anything about the 80s on when they show these nostalgic programs about the 80s. There was one, I have got it recorded somewhere. I think there's poor quality um, recordings of it on YouTube. BBC did a series called Electric Dreams, and it's basically it's same format as many of these programs where they take a family and they progress a year every day. And this one was all about the electronics and gadgets and appliances. So they started off. I'm not sure if it was the 60s or 70s they started off, but they started off, early on, and with the technology they had, you know, transistor radio and maybe a television, and then they went up a year, and then computers were introduced, and then all this new stuff um, that came out. So yeah, the 80s for me is that's where I'd go back if I was, what decade would you live through again? And I would say, without hesitation, the 80s. I think, yeah. Oh, Head Over Heels. Yes, that is a good tune, Lisa. It's not a Ferguson. It's a Panasonic. I don't think I ever had a Ferguson. I've normally favoured Panasonic. I've had Toshiba. Well, I've got Sony as well. I've got Sony. That's a Sony DVD doodah, and then there's a Panasonic one. There's a Sony telly. So Panasonic or Sony. Uh, my first CD, yeah, my first CD player was a Philips, because I think they co-invented CD with Sony. There's Kitty, played by Patricia Routledge, who, if you haven't seen her as Kitty, you might know her as Hyacinth Bouquet. So this is a sort of prototype Hyacinth, I think she did there. Sarah misses rewinding a tape with a pencil or putting tape over the holes on cassette. I sometimes used blue tack. Wasn't as good as putting a piece of tape over. But yeah, but you also get sometimes though your cassette recorder would chew up your tape, wouldn't it? I've had that happen with video and audio tape. Layla says, 1981, we got our first house phone. I remember the neighbours coming round to have a look. Well, that's late. That's quite late, because we certainly had a phone in the 70s. Because I think you used to rent them off the GPO. So you didn't buy phones, and then something happened in the 80s where they made phones available to buy, and then there was this new socket introduced, because they used to be sort of permanently wired in to this little box, and then BT introduced these plug-and-play socket things, and then they made available phones that you could buy. And then we got the Mickey Mouse phones, and all the novelty phones came in. If you remember that period of the 80s, all these shaped phones. Um, Lisa says her first computer was an Amstrad. Ooh, my first gaming computer was an Oric. Oh, crikey. No, not Oric. I think you mean, was it Oric? Was it ORIC? I remember there was loads in the 80s. There was loads of different computers competing, wasn't there? Um, there's one called a Dragon. I think that was made in Wales. I remember one called an Oric, not Oric as in vacuum, but Oric. I think it was ORIC. And then there was a Commodore 64, wasn't there? Um, Most people would have had the Spectrum. I never had a Spectrum because after my Electron, I didn't get another computer until my first Macintosh. I had gaming consoles. I had quite a lot in the 90s. I had a Mega Drive. I had Super Nintendo. Well, I still have some of these. A Sega Saturn, um, a Game Boy, a Game Gear, loads. Thank goodness for catalogues back then, because that's the only way I could afford to have all those things. Audrey says, apparently today's children don't know how to tell the time on a clock with hands. That's one of the first things we learnt as a child. I think I even had a Fisher Price clock. But I remember these sort of wooden clocks that they would hand out in school. They had one for every child, just a piece of wood with the hands and figures on, and the teacher would say, "Now put the clock to 10 to 2, or 1:30, or 5:15," and then you'd have to move the hands round. Richard says, "I completely agree with Roger. Glad I'm just about old enough to remember life before mobile phones, internet, etc. It makes you appreciate it much more." I don't know. What does it make you appreciate? Does it make you appreciate the modern stuff more, or does it make you appreciate what there was before? Because I think at this stage, I think main people just accept new stuff much easier. They accept new technology easier than they used to. Because for my generation, it was quite a thing, and you remember the excitement about getting a new piece of technology. But now it's just, oh, there's another iPhone out, or oh, this, that, and the other. Oh, yeah. I think because of the pace of things, it's just people just accept it. It's not an event. I know there are people that queue up outside Apple stores and get the latest thing, which is not me. I mean, I do have a lot of Apple stuff. I do like Apple stuff, but I'm not the sort of person that would buy the first new thing. I've got an Apple iPhone 8, which I'm quite happy with. I'm not tempted to upgrade to what is it, a 15 now? Um, I might have to upgrade my laptop next year. But a laptop. I need my laptop for YouTube for doing my videos. I've got to have a good laptop for all that. Um, but yeah, it's just I can't think of anything that they bring out that's sort of exciting anymore, and that's what I don't think people get that now. Maybe it's just me, but yeah, I do remember these new things, and when Tomorrow's World used to be on, and I remember seeing a robotic vacuum cleaner on Tomorrow's World, and I think it was a Panasonic make. It's quite tall. It would never have gone under furniture, but I remember being quite excited at seeing that, and of course the talking vacuum, which I did buy and sold foolishly. But yeah, I can't. This is the latest bit of tech I've bought, which I'm finding is excellent for what I want it for. It's doing what I hoped it would do. It's that shoe shop sketch. Um, but I wasn't excited about it because I expect to buy things and find them disappointing. But that so far has lived up to what I was hoping it would do. So I'm pleased. It's not another one of my items of tech that's put into a box when it's served its purpose or hasn't served its purpose at all. So I'm gonna get good value out of that. I can assure you, as long as it keeps working. Sarah says spending ages trying stuff in just to get it to draw a circle. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Sarah. You're not talking about Etch-a-Sketch, are you? Because I could never get an Etch-a-Sketch to draw a circle. I could only draw houses on an Etch-a-Sketch. John says his first computer was a Mattel Aquarius. Oh, he says loved typing in programs for magazines. Well, I did that with my Sinclair ZX81. You know, you could get these magazines. And I remember typing on, if you're aware of what a Sinclair ZX81 keyboard is, it's just a flat piece of plastic that you have to press really hard to get the keys to register. And I remember getting these things and, you know, writing a couple of pages of code to get this crappy little game, and often they wouldn't work. And then, of course, you got games on cassette tape where you'd have to put them in and load them up. So you'd have to wait. You couldn't. It's not now where everyone wants everything now and instantly. You had to be patient back in the day. You had to wait for the game to load up. So you just have to go and do something else, you know, while it was making those silly noises. And hopefully, sometimes it didn't load. You'd have to reload it. It would say an error, and then you'd have to rewind the tape again and try again and adjust the volume slightly. But that's what we did. Oh dear. That's why I do like buying old stuff, because it just takes me back, you know. Or sometimes it's just enough to see a picture of something that I used to own. Sometimes that's enough. Other times I think, oh, I want to own that again, and then just experience it again. It's never like when you first experience it, though, you know. Whoops. Sarah's been rebelling against it. I've got a dial phone, a record player, and an old radio. I don't blame you, Sarah. I'm not keen on all this smart technology, because I mean I've got loads of these Apple speakers about, because I do like to stream my music through them. But although I've told Apple not to listen, because you can, it's not listening. It's supposed to not be listening because you can turn that Siri off. Let me just check. Hey Siri, are you there? I'm listening. Oh, yeah. Well, that's because I've had to redo dial them. Hang on. Hey Siri, stop listening to me. Do you want me to stop listening for my name? Yes. Okay, I've turned Hey Siri off. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Siri. Oi. Right. But you still, even though I've turned it off, you just don't know that they're not listening, you know? So at least when you had the old stuff, the old TV and the old radio and the old wired telephone, hopefully nobody was listening in. But now you just feel that anyone can see everything you do, even if you think they can't. I expect they can, so just don't do anything naughty, that's all. And I put a lot of Vicky Wood, so when I put all these up on my channel, all this sort of stuff will be cut out, I expect. I mean, I could attempt to upload it with some of this stuff on, but I'll get a thing, not a strike, but I'll normally get a warning saying, oh, you can't monetize this because this part of the video has been claimed by this person or company. So you can still keep your video, but they'll be receiving any revenue or something like that. I don't know how some channels do it, because I watch a load of copyrighted stuff on YouTube, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what goes on there. Hello, Luke. What's this? Well, you should have been here 89 minutes ago, Huston, SWAT officer. I'm not doing anything nice for Christmas, Gail. I don't think. In fact, I'll tell you now. I've already said this in a video you're going to see, pre-recorded. It's unlikely I'll be doing any Advent videos. I haven't found an Advent calendar I really want to show, and I just there's probably gonna be loads more stuff on my channel, more than you'd normally have been getting, but not I can't commit to a video every day in December. But I think you'll be sick of me by then anyway, because I'll have got loads more stuff up on this channel, and you'll be thinking, "Oh, thank goodness he's not doing an advent calendar video this year because he's overexposed himself now." Instead of, it'd be feast or famine with me. So I think once I start getting all this stuff digitized, it'll be so much stuff. I've got hours and hours and hours and hours of stuff I can shove on this channel in case somebody wants to watch it. Gary says it was murder typing in the programs for magazines. Yes, that's right. Any little mistake, one number or symbol typed wrong, and the whole thing wouldn't work. I'm not sure if you could go back and just correct one thing. Oh, I didn't do that often. I think I probably did it twice from a magazine. I remember doing a helicopter game on the Sinclair ZX81, typing it out from a magazine, and it was rubbish anyway. So I soon stopped doing that. No, Greggles, there's no new carpet for the living room yet. I just shampooed it again. After I shampooed it with a shark, I shampooed it with a Bissell. Um, the thing is, we're going to get new carpet throughout the whole house, the same carpet, including the living room, because we'll get a discount for getting that much carpet. So that's not going to happen until way into next year because there's decorating to be done and things. So it's there for now. We've just had a new back door fitted, which is very good. It's not sticking anymore, but it's doesn't have any blinds on it like our old one. So we need to get some blinds to fit onto the glass. So it's not. I feel people are looking at me all the time. Not that they can see in, but I like to be able to close the blinds. Oh, that was a funny sketch in the supermarket with Vicky and Celia Imrie. Anthony says, I'm going to New York in February 2024. And Roger, how are you doing today? And I have a rubbish Vax Power Nano Blue and Grey Pet. Yes, that is rubbish, Anthony. Mark says those Playmobil videos were hilarious. Which is that? Was that on my other channel, Roger's Box of Delights? That went. It's still there, but ever since YouTube changed something, I couldn't. I don't know, because they were never made for kids. There was this new ruling came out, wasn't there? And they thought because it's Playmobil, it's made for kids. But I aimed them at adults and adult collectors, really. I mean, I'm sure there's a way around it. If I do any more stuff like that, I'll do it on this channel and make sure it's for adults. I'll have to put the odd swear word in just so YouTube know I'm not aiming this at kiddies. I'm aiming this at grown men and women who still are a bit childlike and still like to have the odd toy, that sort of thing. Take the pee out of myself, I think. I try and take the pee out of myself, and that stops other people doing it. Crikey, is that Ariana Grande? Crikey. My partner was at your concert in Manchester when that bomb went off, although he never saw anything, he just heard something. He was going out at the time, leaving the venue with his sister and nephew, but he never actually saw anything happen. Oh, the Advent. Oh, I thought. Oh, yes, I forgot that. Mark. Yes, the Advent with Tracy, Sharon and Tracy and Dorian. Yeah, that was fun. But yeah, I think. Well, I'm not going to say I'm definitely not going to do them, but it's probably not going to happen this year. And I won't be getting any socks, I doubt. So it'll be nice to have the run up to Christmas, not having to think about. And Mark doesn't like it. He'll be relieved when I tell him I'm not going to be doing them. What's coming up? He'll um, he'll be quite happy because it was a bit get in the way of things sometimes. Oh, I've still got that same jumper on. I'm sorry, Oscar, I can't do a collection video, Dyson vacuum collection video because they're not here. I've got some here, there's some in storage, and I think possibly some at my mum's house. I can't do any videos with huge amounts of vacuums in because at the moment they're all over the place and I've no room to get them all out. I'm trying to sell vacuums at the moment. Hang on. Oh, just trying to get up. Oh, don't know what I'm talking about. It's a nice jumper. I did have lots of fancy jumpers in the 80s. I don't know what I've gone off to do now. I've no idea. It's years since I've seen this. Oh, it's the it's the Aquatronic floor show. Poor Sue and Mandy. I put loads of vacuum stuff up on my videos that I sent them. I mean, I can't imagine they watched it all. I wouldn't be surprised if they fast forwarded some of these. The lady here is Julie Peasgood. She's an actress. Oh dear. Oh, Sue says she loved it. Thanks, Sue. But I look at these now, some of the stuff, and I think, oh my, how boring was that? I mean, I'm finding them interesting and nostalgic, but then I recorded them. But I'm thinking, well, would anyone else be interested in my little sad little life? But clearly, some folk are. Not sure if this is still. I'm not sure if that's still on my channel. I had to take one down. It was a copyright thing for some music that was in it. It's possible. I don't know if it's this one or the Turbo Master one. I might try and upload again and see if I can get away with it. Who knows? I'll be able to upload a better quality version of it. But this was from a VHS cassette that I was given. Electrical retailer in York gave me a few. They were supposed to be played in the shops, on a TV. So they would have had a TV playing this, and they'd have had the product, the Aquamaster, underneath it, and maybe some point of sale material and a leaflet. So that dog will be long got. Look at hideous kitchen. Look. Oh, yeah. The 80s had a lot of bad taste in it. Well, we look at it now as bad taste, but obviously when we were living in it, you don't see it as bad taste. That's the thing. Oh, she's being a silly. Look at her throwing all her muck everywhere. I think she's been on the happy pills, hasn't she? Oh, bless you, Sue. Sue says they didn't fast forward anything. No, no Christmas. I've just said probably won't do any advents. There might be some Christmassy sort of videos. I mean, I've got some vintage Christmas stuff. I found a tape somewhere. I don't know where I've put it. An old videotape with Christmas 1990 written on it. So I keep meaning every year. I've been meaning to put that up. Every year for the past, I don't know how many years, I've thought, oh, I must put that up on Bits and Doings. This old Christmas video. It's got my dad in it, and I think my granddad's in it. My mum would like to see it, I'm sure. But I think that's going to happen this year. Now I've got this new doodah connected to my old Super VHS. I'll be able to just put it in, because this is what's happening now. I'm recording from a VHS tape through this onto an SD card, which will come out and go into my computer, and it will be easy to get onto YouTube. So yes, I think this year there's going to be some old nostalgic old videos. I did some special Christmas videos for Sue and Mandy as well, so maybe I'll get one of those up as well. So there's going to be some Christmassy stuff, but not Advent this year, I'm afraid. But as I said, I'm hoping to be a bit more consistent with my uploads. My subscription never really goes up very much. It always stays about the same. Might go up 10, and then it'll go down 5, and then it really. I've never. I don't know what I'd need to do to start getting momentum. I've plugged this channel on my bigger channel a few times, but I don't think people who watch my other channel are really interested in me. I mean, you watching now probably are. Some of you might not even watch my other channel, but I think that happens with a lot. I see some bigger YouTubers and they say, "Oh, I'm going to make a separate channel with this and that," and I'm thinking, "Don't bother, mate." I thought, well, I think I couldn't put what I put on this channel on my main channel because I would alienate the people who watch my main channel. So that's why I did this separate channel, because then I can just put any old stuff on it, and if you want to watch it, that's great. If you don't, that's great. But I've got, my other channel is what I earn my money from, so I've got to sort of keep that. I have made a video of a non vacuum appliance, a coffee maker. I've just recently done a coffee maker, and I did a fan today. So there's going to be other electrical things on that channel, but that's sort of it goes. But people aren't interested in seeing what I look like at 20 years old, prancing about, what I was doing at work, and me talking and getting all teary eyed over stuff. They're not interested, I think, most people on my other channel. So that's why I've got this one for, you know, for folk that just watch anything. I mean, I do help people get to sleep. Um, so, if I can help people with insomnia, that's great. Or if I'm just some noise in the background, if there's nothing on to watch. Is anyone watching Strictly? That's the only thing. Actually, no. What's the date? Oh, it's Monday. There's only three programs I tend to tune in for these days, and that is The Sewing Bee, Great British Bake Off, and Strictly. And Strictly, well, Mark and I both watched the Bake Off together and Strictly. He wasn't interested in the Sewing Bee thing, but it's a little tradition. We didn't watch Strictly from the beginning. We're sort of late-ish adopters, but we've been watching it for several years, and it's a little thing we do. We make a sort of little event of it of a Saturday night. Because we're too old to go out, I'd normally have some sort of veggie curry, and I'd have my one alcoholic drink of the week, normally a cider. Mark would have whatever he's having, and a red wine, and we'd sit with the dogs and watch the Strictly, and comment on it and blah blah, and then we'd watch the Sunday show. But the last two shows, Mark's been away. He was away with his walking group last weekend, and the the week before he was somewhere else again. So I was watching it on my own, but I still did my curry. I still had my little alcoholic beverage, and it's just something I know I don't. It's just something nice. It's all bright and colourful. It's music. Sometimes I like the music, and it's quite funny sometimes. Some of the comments, and it's just a bit of sparkle and brightness for when winter comes in, but it doesn't feel anything near sort of autumn yet. It's really warm here. I've still got my summer weight duvet on. I did dig out my other one, my 7.5 tog, but I'm not going to need it. Well, it's going to be into 20, I think 23 degrees here on Saturday in October. But that's just weather. It's not global warming. Oh, hang on. Oh, I don't know what happened there. I don't know if I got a message up on my doodah. I'm not sure if you heard any of that. Hopefully, I'm back. What am I saying? Oh dear. Can I ever look like that again? I don't know. I need a lot of surgery. I'm still that same. I'm still him though. I'm still that. I'm still in the brain there. That is. I'm no different. I'm no different at all. You breathe a sigh of relief. Must be boring for you. Bowel of last for me either, but I'll just show you something. Just wake up. This is what somebody does when they're mental. Oh dear, Timmy Mallet. Yes. Dear. No, at least I don't do things like that. I don't do that sort of thing anymore. Oh, I'd break my hip. Oh dear. Roger, if only, if only I could come through that door and have a word. Oh, more French and Saunders works better than me. Oh, dearie me. Right. I'll have to go soon, folks. Um, I'm not doing anything for Thanksgiving. I know I have done the odd Thanksgiving video on my other channel. We don't do Thanksgiving, you know. I've done them for my American viewers, but we don't do Thanksgiving in the UK. It depends. If I've got access to an American vacuum, I might do a Thanksgiving video. Um, I think most of my American ones are at my mum's house in her loft. I might try the Aquatronic one again. It had to be taken down for copyright reasons, but I might try it again. I'll redo it. I can hear a dog. I can hear a dog. It's my little girl, my little Daisy. Where have you been? Hello, darling. Has Mark gone to bed? I don't know what the time is. Hello. Oh, get away, get away. You're so pretty. You're wet. She's got wet feet, so she's been out for a piddle. Isn't she? Oh, my lovely girl. You're so beautiful. You're so pretty, doesn't I? You're so pretty. Um, oh, Sarah's saying her mum has a similar kitchen. That's from the Aquatronic video. Uh, well, I have three channels, Lisa, but my Rogers Box of Delights, it might as well not be there because I don't earn any money from it. I don't know if it even has adverts on it. It shouldn't do. It's sort of, I'd have to reapply for whatever. I just let that go. It's just all Playmobil. Yes, Michael, I still have the Hoover Tempo. I've got all the American, I've still got all the American Hoovers that I've shown because no point in selling them. I know some UK collectors do have the wherewithal to use them because they've got the old step down transformers. But yes, I've got the Tempo, I've got the Celebrity, I've got the Portable, Porta Power, um, a wind tunnel, self-propelled one, um, whatever. Oh, the concept ones. Yeah, I've still got all of them. Do I watch RuPaul's Drag Race? No, I've tried. The only drag thing I watched recently, last week, because it was on the BBC iPlayer, was Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, that Australian film, which is quite entertaining. But no, I'm not really into drag and all that. Not the drag they have now. I liked Lily Savage sort of drag, and some of you won't know who this is, but Hinge and Bracket sort of drag. I don't like. I've tried watching it, and it's not really my it's not my cup of chamomile. I have to say, the modern drag. Um, yeah. So if the likes of Lily Savage, that sort of drag, I do and did like. Um, but yeah, no, I say it doesn't really float my boat. Well, that's right. Drag Queen Story Hour, Lisa. I think you're talking about. I don't think that's right at all. In fact, as a member, well, I'm not a member. I'm not a member of the LGBTQ plus whatever it is. And I think a lot of my generation don't want anything to do with that. I'm I think it's wrong. They shouldn't be teaching young children explicit stuff that apparently they're teaching them. They can, give children the facts that some people are attracted to the same sex, some people might be attracted to both. All that is tell them factually. There's no need to go into graphic detail about anything. They shouldn't have men with their bits hanging out reading stories to kids. I don't understand it. It's been sabotaged. This whole thing. I won't get into too much detail because I'll get my channel taken down for saying anything against it. But no, it's not. I just happen to be a gay man who just wants to be left alone. We just very private. Keep it well, not being private now, but we just don't want to flaunt. I don't want to flaunt anything in anyone's face. I don't want to try and normalize it because it isn't. The majority of people are straight. I have to say, I'm pretty sure that's still true, and it's wrong. All this because it's turning people against gay and lesbian people, I think, because they're going to lump just a regular gay or lesbian, it's going to lump them in with all these people with these various perversions. And believe you, I don't think that is what the gay community is about. Um, I'm not even part of the normal gay community. I was me happens to live in a same-sex relationship, but uh, what's going on at the moment is wrong, in my opinion. Um, well, I don't know which one you were talking about, Sue. The French and Saunders sketch. Um, they're all brilliant anyway. Was it the two girls and was it? Oh no, it wasn't that one. Or was it? Well, was it the one they were talking about the curse? Oh, and putting yogurt in your pants, but avoid citrus fruits. Was it that one? They were good, weren't they? French and Saunders. You see, we both grew up like in French and Saunders, so we've got a lot of shared experiences, Sue, haven't we? We did like a lot of the same things. We both like cosmetics to go, French and Saunders. But I think this is from series one. This. She's talking about her rabbit Thumper that died. Oh dear. But yeah, Sue and I were talking about the House of Idiot, which was absolutely hilarious. Their spoof of the House of Elliot, because I went to the building where they filmed the House of Elliot a few weeks back in Bristol. I have got some footage of that. Hopefully, you'll see that sometime this year. French and Saunders cable. I always say, and I remember when breakfast television started as well. I guess yes, it was. They were always wearing those jumpers. Frank Boff, he liked his jumpers. He also liked being whipped by ladies in leather. Luke says, "How have you been today?" I've been fine, thank you, Luke. I've been doing a lot of video editing and stuff today. Not much else, but I've been quite productive. But productive, sat on the sofa with my laptop. Whoops, and Daisy sat next to me. Lisa loved Hinge and Bracket. I actually saw them. Oh, hang on. Oh, I'm gonna have to plug myself in. Crikey, I've been speaking for ages. Hang on. Don't want you seeing all the mess. Oh, what's new? Hang on, I've got headphones round my neck. It's going to have to. Don't look at the mess. Oh, don't say I've left it down. Don't look at the mess. Oh, there it is. That's what I want. Hang on. Don't look at my underpants. Oh, hang on. Oh, it's gone all funny. Hang on. Sorry about that, folks. I just got to plug myself into the mains electric because I was only going to have a quick chat to talk about. They never end up being quick. Oh, I can't. Oh, what's going to happen here? Right, hang on, folks. Wait. Right, I'm sorry the sound might have gone a bit different because I can't. Well, can I? Hang on, I might be able to. Oh, I think I can. Hang on. Just hang fire, folks. Oh, it's that sketch. It's a chambermaid sketch. Oh, that's so funny. That puts you off. If you watch the chambermaid sketch, that'll put you off going into a hotel. I always bring my own pillow. Right, hang on. I might be able to do this. Just wait. Oh, it says it sounds better. Hang on. Well, I'm plugging my mic back in. Wait a minute. I'll put you down. I'll put you down there and plug. Well, I thought it. Right. Okay. Right. Now I'm connected to the mains. Oh, that was so funny. You see, I tried to put a bit of this sketch up on a video I made in a hotel, but that BBC said, nah. Actually, I don't know if it's still up and wasn't getting monetized for it. I can't remember. I think I might have redone it without this sketch. I can't do that too long because it will come up saying you're copying something. Because live stream, if I actually have the telly on and I'm not knowing, that I'm holding it to the telly, it says we're going to stop this live stream. What's that machine above the VCR, says Thomas? It's a mini disc player. Which this is something else I'm doing. I'm putting my old radio stuff, I'm putting that onto SD cards, so I'm trying to date everything. I haven't labelled everything, so I'm having to go through everything, try and decipher when I did it by what I'm seeing from news events I might be mentioning. So that's a lot too. We do have Bob in the UK. It's not something I've ever watched. Peregrine says, Hinge back, you'd think they were really old ladies. Yes, see, that's the sort of drag I like, because some people, the older generation, didn't realise that Hinge and Bracket were men because they weren't the characters that you see now, drag queens. Back in the day, queens were as feminine as they could. Well, female, as they called most in the UK would be Danny LaRue, I suppose, from the earlier days. And the 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 and is have a look at they did a little 2-series sitcom. I've got it on DVD. But yes, I saw it a few years back in, I think it was Manchester. And they one played the piano, one sung sort of operatic songs, and they did a little comedy speech. And I mean, I love that sort of stuff. It's better than most of the stuff that's passes for comedy nowadays. Lisa thinks I will like Miss Hope Springs. Well, if you're talking about a drag queen in RuPaul's Drag Race, but I remember a Hope Springs from a Carry On film. I think it was Carry On Girls, and it was Barbara Windsor's character. Well, that wasn't a real name, but she called herself Hope Springs. And there was also she had to wrestle with another girl wearing a bikini top because she thought she'd nicked it. You see, that's what Carry On films, I've been buses recently. It's so worthy for me. I just watch it because it's that bad. You just can't believe. I think they've probably cut a lot of it anyway that they show on ITV3. Is it? It's probably not. There's probably a few things cut out of it. Oh, it's these posh ladies wearing the fur and one of them's still alive. Oof. You see, there were people like that back in the day. B Doodah, possibly, not sure. And Layla's agreeing with something. Let kids be kids. Oh, yes, it must be about that. We had sex education at school, but it was all very factual. Um, I don't even maybe say I don't even remember same sex being attraction being even mentioned. It was very it was in human biology. That's what we learned. We learned you know, the biological aspects of how a new life is created. That's what we that was it. You got education, got a bit older when, you know, lads used to bring in mucky mags they'd found under bushes on the way to school with pages stuck together. That was the education uh, that people of my generation got. That was the first opening and seeing a lady with her boobies out and that sort of thing. And, top shelf magazines. But now, I mean, especially with the internet, I mean, kids can see all sorts, can't they? Uh, What's Sue says? Was this where? Was this where? Was this where? Was this? Was this where? 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 Must be talking about French orders, are you, Sue? So I'm reading your comments long after. Oh, look at them! They're doing bodybuilding. Oh no, they're. Oh dearie me. Oh yeah, that woman's Welsh, I think. Who's she's caught fire. 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 I don't know if it's a player. I've got them all on disc as well. But it's so much easier just to get them up on the telly, though, isn't it? I'm lazy instead of just finding the disc. Sue says we have lots. 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 Channel. So after all my years of watching your content, I can finally say I made it to a stream. Well, I hope you don't get your feet wet. Sound is going. Right. Okay. I'm using my microphone was flashing. It's only one of these cheapos. Look, it's flashing, so it must have. So I'm back I'm on the mic on the iPad. Right, hopefully the sound's better now. Right, can you hear me now? Thomas has been watching Coronation Street from the first episode in 1960. Well, you won't be able to see them all from 1960 because they don't all survive. But when I started watching them, there's a couple of channels on YouTube that put out a lot. I can't remember the name. Eve something. Eve something. And there was another channel. I think I started watching from sort of the 70s. I mean, when I first started watching Coronation Street, it was in the early 80s. I think the very first episode I remember was when Betty got mugged. And then I sort of started watching. And then I started watching. I was up to the early 90s. At the last time I still stopped watching. But I'm sort of up to the sort of, the Better Buys, Reg Holdsworth, Gail and Martin have just moved into one of the new houses on the street. Ivy's with Don still. So that's, and Raquel's in it. And I think Victoria is living with Alec and Bet, or when she's not at school. But I sort of stopped watching. I must sort of get caught up. but I don't watch it anymore. I think it was 2010. I think I stopped watching. Right, hopefully the sound is okay now because it's on the iPad. Oh good, it's all better. Right, yes, it's because I wasn't, it's my it's because this is flashing. It run out. Only cheap thing. How do you turn it off? Needs charging up again. I've got another one that I could have swapped over, but I'll just leave it at this. Oh, this is when they go on a school field trip. Oh, that's a glacial valley with two people stood on it. Oh, I know what I don't even have to hear what they're saying. Is that what it looks like from above, miss? I don't even have to hear the volume. I know what they're saying. I've seen them so many times. And Sue, I'm sure Sue will be remembering seeing this. I'm sure Mandy would have enjoyed French and Saunders as Sue did. That's right, Harry. Nick it. Yes, it's a tie. She wants the tie for a boyfriend, and Dawn finishes nick it, and then I think is it Dawn? Dawn distracts the woman at the counter with something. Oh, I might buy this. Yeah, I like this. Look at them smoking, not even inhaling. But this, this is my school days. This is things that they did. I remember happening on coach trips. The naughty, I never did, but the naughty boys would have crafty cigarette. They're back in the coach now. They pretended they wanted to pee, I think, and a few drags of a cigarette. Here they are at the place. Yeah, they're going to. I won't turn it up. I can't show you too much because it'll start saying, "Oh, you can't show this." But yeah, I'm sure this is series 1. Could be series 2. Oh, the white. Because I knew girls who looked like that when I was at school. It's going on these awful field trips to places, and they decided to just skip that lot. They don't want to go. They're going into the having a having a smoke and a cup of coffee in the cafe. Look. And I've been watching Girls on Top. I can't remember what streaming service that's on, but it's on one of them. That was an early one that Dawn French and Jennifer Saunders were in with Ruby Wax and Tracy Ullman. We're the girls on top in the Kensington sky. That's a bit of bizarre ITV sitcom. Oh, there, nick it. I can't afford it. She's saying, it's £3, I can't afford it. Nick it. That's what he's saying. Oh, there it is. She's spotted what she wants. She's going to say, nick it. You've got to get it. You've got to get that for him. I can't afford it. It's £3 or whatever. Nick it. That's it. Nick it. And there's the woman behind. Oblivious. There you go. Bit of distraction. She gets the tie, shoves it up a doodah. That's the best comedy is the comedy that's true to life. It's believable. Oh, bless them. And of course she did Vicar Dibley, although I went off that when I found out she was wearing an upside down cross, which apparently is satanic. But yes, of course I liked Jennifer and Ab Fab. Crikey, Ab Fab's been going, was years ago, because I remember first getting Ab Fab in video cassette. When it first started being available to buy, it wasn't, you couldn't buy a whole series on, it was like series 1 part 1. It had 3, that was it. I had them because I had the first, several of them, but the first tape that came out was called Fashion Fat France, with the first 3 episodes, and then you'd have to buy the other tape to get the other 3 to get the whole series 1. So that's another thing I bought more of one of, because you'd buy it first on cassette, and then when DVDs came out, you had to buy them on DVD, didn't you? So good job I never got a laser disc player. That's all I can say. Oh, you had a great big poo stripe in your pants. Oh, dearie me. How do these people get away with, how do they get around the copyright? Because I see loads of these reaction videos where you see people supposedly watching stuff for the first time or listening to music for the first time. So how can they, I don't know how that works. But there's very little that I haven't seen, so I couldn't really do. When I see a video of some man who's listening to Barbara Dixon singing January, February for the first time, I'm thinking, how on earth? Because he was old. What's that wet patch? I've just touched something wet. What have you been doing, Daisy? You've not wee-weed, have you? I don't know what the time is, Daisy. I expect it's bedtime, is it? Oh dear. It's only going to come on for half hour. Look, 130 minutes. Where does the time go? I did watch Bugger Street, Thomas. I loved Bugger Street. I wish I'd been able to copy it before it went down. If I'd had that thing when Bugger Street was up. In fact, I should start copying some things now, because there's a lot of channels that I've enjoyed that have put old stuff up, and then all of a sudden they've gone because they've been taken down for copyright strikes or something. But there's some channels that put up stuff you can't see anywhere else. They're not available on DVD or anything. You can't see them on streaming services. What's the harm? Yeah, but these big companies think, no, you can't have this. Some really obscure stuff that you enjoy, and then all of a sudden, someone had put loads of Swap Shop up. I think that channel's gone now. I haven't told you, I saw Noel Edmonds. I can't believe it. I actually physically saw Noel Edmonds when we went to Wells. We were in Somerset, we went to Wells for the day, and we were walking outside Wells Cathedral, and he was there. I said to Mark, that's Noel Edmonds. Now, Noel Edmonds lives in New Zealand now, so I thought, well, what's he doing here? But it was unmistakably Noel Edmonds. Mark said, no, it's not. No, it's not. I said, he says it is. And it was only funny because I was only recently watching Swap Shop on YouTube. I said, that's Noel Edmonds. And Mark had to agree, oh, yes, it was. And then I was trying to film Noel Edmonds. And then when I looked at my phone, I was filming the pavement. I was that giddy. And then he went into Wells Cathedral, and Mark wanted to sit down for a cup of tea. So we walked to this cafe and had a drink. And then we decided to go into Wells Cathedral. You were allowed to take dogs in. And of course, I was admiring the architecture, but I was also trying to spot Noel, but he'd gone. He'd been and gone. He was with his wife, and there was a younger bloke with him. Mark thought he could be his grandson or something, but it was he looks good for his age. He must have been in his 70s. It's very short. He had this dapper shirt on, and I think he had sunglasses, the trademark hair, and then I heard two of the staff in the cathedral. They was talking about telly, and one said Tiz was. And I nearly turned around and said, no, he wasn't on Tiswas. That was the other channel for the common kids. He was on Swap Shop on BBC. He wasn't on Tiswas with Sally James getting a T-shirt wet so the young boys could have something to look at. All I remember of Tiswas, because I just flicked occasionally, was people in this cage getting water and gunk thrown at them. That's all I remember. And Lenny Henry doing appalling impressions. That's basically all I know of Tiswas. I wasn't a Tiswas person, I have to say. Thomas says, modern Coronation Street is so depressing. You see, oh, this was funny with the old dinner party. And that's with her real-life husband, Adrian Edmondson. Oh, crikey, speak of Lenny Henry. Of course, they used to be married, didn't they? Dawn and Lenny used to be married. And of course, they're still married, Jennifer and Ade Edmondson. This is when they had the party in the Nibbles. And oh, yes, that's very funny. Yeah, I've only seen odd bits of Coronation Street. Hardly, I've caught the odd 20 seconds, and I'm thinking, crikey, is that... The last thing I remember, I saw that Tyrone and thought, I don't know what hairpiece or what he's had done, but he should be bald by now, because when I watched it, he was balding, and yet he still has the same amount of hair. So I don't know if it's a toupee or he's had an implant, but But Corrie used to be, I mean, the characters for me, showing the age, Hilda Ogden, Bette Lynch, Jack and Vera, Mavis and Derek. And Coronation Street had comedy in it. It had funny stuff in it. And it wasn't all drama and people getting killed. I mean, there was the odd car crashes and things. Alf Roberts' first wife got killed in a car crash. Um, but there was humor. There was It was so good. All it was loads of double acts. It was fantastic. And I can I can watch the old stuff and think that was good. But I don't watch it now. I couldn't watch it. I'm amazed when I see people I remember. I think, crikey, are they still in it? Obviously, Ken Barlow, William Roche, he's not going to leave that soap unless he's taken out of there in a box, is he? Let's be frank. He's not going to leave and said, I want to form a new career path. He's old enough. I mean, there's no point. I want to do Shakespeare. Who's going to who's going to employ him to play Bottom or whatever in Twelfth Night? Nobody, because he's Ken Barlow. I'm sure he's called Ken Barlow in the street, not Coronation Street. In any street. If he walks down the street, I expect he doesn't. Yes, but Bugger Street was hilarious in such bad taste, but that was my humour. Bugger Street. And it did have a bit of a story arc running through it. I think you might still be able to watch it. I think the bloke does have a website. I think you'd have to pay to see it again. But now I've got my recorder thing. I might pay and just copy it all. And a lot of the characters sounded the same. But Albert Tatlock was hilarious. It was all sex, wasn't it? Because Bugger Street. And then Annie was crowned Satanic Majesty or something. It was so ludicrous. Oh, and Deirdre went on the game. Oh, it was, yeah, it's such a shame that was taken down, because I watched it several times. And the episode when they went to Spain, and Mavis got off with she got off with a waiter in the real episode, but it was obviously a little bit more filthy in Bugger Street. Yeah, that's I remember watching that through the lockdowns again, and that cheered me up. It was just so pathetically puerile and rude and base, but it was funny. It's the sort of thing you'd never be able to see on any mainstream television. Oh, Sue's quoting something. I can't remember what that's. Chips and jam, you bloody nitwit. That must be a French and Saunders quote. I don't know. Was it taken down because it was rude, Thomas, or was it because of copyright? I don't know. I don't think it was that rude. I'm sure there's far worse on YouTube than that. I don't think. Oh, I think the C word might have been mentioned, but they allow swearing on YouTube. I don't know if it's copyright or something. Granada probably didn't like people finding Bugger Street more entertaining than Coronation Street. It could be the rudeness, because there are old episodes of Coronation Street. I mean, occasionally I've seen an episode of Coronation Street that was dubbed over for Bugger Street, and then it's like, what's happened here? Why aren't they talking about buying a dildo or buying a vibrator? Why there was a storyline with, I don't know, was it Annie Walker wanted to buy a vibrator, or was it Hilda? And Hilda had a sex party, and if you've never seen it, you've missed out, folks, on Bugger Street. But I think he's called Johnny. That's right. I think the website's called Johnny Monroe. So you can Google that. He's a chap behind Bugger Street and a lot of other dubbed programs. I think he's probably of my generation, maybe a bit older. There was a lot of good references, apart from the smut. he made references to like Wigfalls, which was an electrical store. I think that Hilda and Stan got their telly from, and there was a lot of sort of references that were completely accurate for that time. So I think he's definitely of my generation. Yes, Johnny Munro. I'm going to look him up after I've put this down, after I've spoken to you lot, and I think I will be able to, by paying a little monthly fee for a bit, I will be able to view Bugger Nation Street again and hopefully get them all copied so I can watch them at my leisure. Crikey, is that still that sketch? That sketch has been going on a long time. They've only just finished the dinner party sketch. I suppose we're used to things being too quick these days, aren't we? That's what when I watched old swap shops, the pace is so slow, and the things they talk about, you would never get that on programs now because the kids wouldn't have the attention span to watch them. So I don't know what's. Oh, crikey! I hope my mum doesn't see that I had one of her bras on. I've never done proper drag. I did once buy some stuff to do. I was going to do a little spoof drag sketch, like I Want to Break Free, you know, Queen thing. So I did actually buy some I got them all from Next Sale, so they're all cheap. So I did buy some sparkly tights, some high heels, a very short pink skirt, and a pink top, and some clip-on earrings and a wig. But I bottled out. I bottled out of doing it. So that's the nearest I've come to drag. Sitting there with I don't think I made reference to it. Just sitting there with my mother's bra on. She was a hefty lady, wasn't she then? It's probably an M&S one, I expect. And what am I up to tomorrow, says Oscar? Well, I'm getting a floor washer collected that I've just sold, so I'll have to wait in for parcel force. Then probably tidying tomorrow, because I spent all day today sat on the sofa video editing. So I think it's going to be more tidying up, really. Oh, there's the TV announcer. Oh, it's back to Vicky Wood. She's in Mrs. Brown's Boys now as Hilary, is it? I have been watching a few of the new ones. I can safely say I haven't laughed once. I might have tittered at one thing. I don't think that's much good anymore. Thomas says his favourite was the very early years with Ina Sharples. Such a brilliant character. Yeah, she was quite posh apparently in real life, was Ina. Violet Carson. Carol says Hilda and Stan, brilliant characters. I've watched it for over 20. Yeah, they were the best, weren't they? You know, I still remember seeing when when Stan died, and the bit at the end when Daisy's just let off. I don't know if the microphone picked that up. When Hilda sort of got Stan's things from the hospital, and she opened his glasses case, and sort of, ends with a head on them on her table. And of course, I remember the Ken and Deirdre affair. Not Ken and Deirdre. Deirdre and Mike, the Ken, Deirdre, Mike triangle. So I remember watching that. So that was a big thing. So yeah, it was a very good show back in the day. I didn't watch Emmerdale Farm, but I did watch a lot of soaps back in the day. I watched Brookside and EastEnders, but I like the earlier EastEnders, with Den and Angie. I watched it with Den and Angie and Rowley the dog. And was it Ali and his wife who had the cab business, and they had the cafe, didn't they? So I watched that for a few years, and then that went by the by. Just grew out of soaps. Coronation Street was the last one standing. That was the last one I stopped watching. I did like Brookside. I think I watched that more or less to the end. But that got a little bit, you know, far fetched. Bodies under the patio, and when a woman and baby fall off some scaffolding, I'm not even sure why they were up there. Um, but yeah, there was some good stuff back in the day. Oh, apparently some episodes of Bugger Nation Street on Vimeo. I'll have to have a look. Oh yes, I've seen a couple of Sorry Nation Streets. Thomas, I think the person who does that is better at the impressions. That the voices are a bit more different. But yeah, I haven't really got into that because I think once you've seen Bugger Nation Street, I can't do Sorry Nation Street. I'm afraid. I know it's more modern, um, isn't it? Where I think it's more recent episodes sort of thing than Bugger Nation Street. So Thomas says what they were taken down because they were too offensive. Well, people need to get a life. There's a lot more offensive stuff going on in this world that people allow without a bit of, it was a smutty schoolboy humor. It was ridiculous, but it was the thing that gave me belly laughs. It wasn't just a smile or a titter. It was, the sort of laugh that you're sort of bending over in almost pain because you're laughing so much. I mean, that for me for comedy to do that to me, it has to be very good. I mean, I was laughing at myself, I have to say. Well, it wasn't just me, I was laughing at my old colleague from Inside Story back in 1989. The things she was saying, I was having belly laughs earlier today at what she was doing and how she was interacting with the camera. And you'll be seeing that. I don't know if you'll find it funny, but she was quite a colourful character. This lady who you will get to see. I've no idea what she's doing now, if she's even still alive now. I mean, she was younger than me, or about my age, or maybe couple of years older. But we did have fun together at work. But you see, in 1989 or whenever when I filmed that video, you could do fun things at work, and I couldn't believe this, but this is how times have changed. I mean, I'm filming some of the women in the shop, and some of them said, "Oh, go away, Roger, I don't want to." And some are sort of, lifting up the cardigans and sticking their bums out at the camera and doing suggestive things like that without me asking them to. We're just playing up, and I'm thinking, oh, there were simpler times. I used to go around pinging ladies' bra straps all the time. Could never do that anymore. You'd be out on your ear roll. To be fair, the lady whose bra strap I pinged the most, she used to like rubbing my hairy chest, or when I used to have a buzz cut on me, when I did have some hair, she used to like rubbing that. So, it's fair enough. I could ping a bra strap and she could get a bit of a rub of my hairy chest from time to time. What's the harm in it? Just like on the buses. And of course, are you being served with all the ogling that went on there? Oh, no one's only ever seen Top Gear. Oh dear. If that's the only British show, there's loads you could see. Audrey's met Barry Grant. Actually, so have I, Audrey. I don't think I spoke to him. Well, Paul Usher is his name. Paul Usher. I've got the clips. I've got the clip somewhere. The newspaper clipping. But he actually opened Littlewoods. It was Inside Story at first, and you'll see some film when it was Inside Story, some old footage, and then it changed into Littlewoods. And then when the Littlewoods had a refurb, a much needed refurb, it was Paul Usher that came and opened up the store, because Littlewoods was connected to Liverpool. So I suppose getting Paul Usher. So I don't think I ever spoke to him, but yes, I did see him there. I saw a few famous faces when I worked there. Um, I saw and spoke to Richard Whiteley from Countdown, Barbara Windsor before her EastEnders fame. This is when she was a bit sort of washed up. Um, Maggie Olderenshaw, who's a lot of you won't know, but she played Mrs. Ramby in House of Elliot. She also was in the Victoria Wood sketch of The Girl Who Swam the Channel. She played the mother. Arthur Bostrom, who played the French policeman in Allo Allo, Good Morning. He wanted to meet me actually, but I was because I was taking the pee out of him. I was on the tannoy. He came to open a concession that was in the shop, and I was, talking about him on the tannoy, and he wanted an audience with me. So I was hidden downstairs doing the thing in a cupboard. I said no, I'm not going. So I didn't go up and see him. I was too embarrassed because I wasn't. Oh, what's happening here? Oh dear. That's Claire Rayner, Dennis Healy, and Frank Bruno, I think. Oh, it doesn't matter that that's not. I won't be able to show that anyway, so it doesn't matter that that's a bit doodah. Is there anyone else famous that came into the shop? I don't know. I think the most famous person I've seen to me, is Noel Edmonds. I started watching Crossroads very late on, only because some hunky man started appearing on it. I think he was going out with, was it Jill Chance? She wasn't with that Adam who I saw that Nolly thing that was quite good on ITVX, the three-parter about Noel Gordon. But I did watch it sort of very late on, only because I think the character was called Mickey. He was quite a nice looker. I think he, in real life, died of AIDS. I think that's what happened to him. So I sort of watched bits of it then, but I wasn't. My grandma would have watched it. She watched them all, and we had to suffer that when we stayed in her house in Leeds. When I was a kid, in summer holidays, we got shipped up there for a week or two. So we had to suffer Emmerdale Farm, as it was, Crossroads, and we did suffer Coronation Street. This is before I started watching it and sort of got my mum and dad into it as well in the early 80s, 83, I think it might have been. But yeah, I did like the theme tune to Crossroads, the classic theme tune. There's something very good about that. I liked that tune. But no, I started watching it because I fancied a bloke in it, and that's why. That's normally why I start watching anything. I wasn't into Friends when that first came on, and then I saw a bit of it and sort of fancied Ross. I don't know why. I wouldn't fancy him anymore. But and I started watching that. So yeah, it's just normally if I fancy someone, I'll start watching something and then get into it. I've watched and enjoyed many American shows, starting sort of early on in the 80s. Dallas was very big in the UK, and then I like Dynasty. I even watched Knots Landing, and something very obscure, which I've never been able to find repeated, a show called Flamingo Road, which I enjoyed, but it was put on very late. I was still at school, had a black and white television, portable television in my bedroom, but it was on very late on BBC One. Had a very nice theme tune, Flamingo Road. Does any of you remember Flamingo Road? Anyway, I liked Flamingo Road because it had an actor in it called John Beck, who had a lovely big moustache, very like Magnum, which I watched Magnum because of Thomas Magnum, whatever his real name is, with the tash and the hairy chest. I watched it for that. And yeah, John Beck was also in Dallas. He played a boyfriend of Pam. And then when Bobby came back to life after his shower, he disappeared, I think. So yes, Frasier, I enjoyed. Oh, there's loads really. Just trying to think. Oh, Schitt's Creek. I think that's Canadian, but Schitt's Creek is a more recent one. Loved watching Schitt's Creek. Um, just trying to think of any other. I'm sure there's lots. Um, Curb Your Enthusiasm. Quite like that. You'll have to mention some in the comments. There's probably loads. Um, oh, Married with Children. Oh, Modern Family. Yes, Thomas, you're right. Everything is too PC or woke. Crikey, Oscar, you still watching This Morning? Blimey. I doubt there'll be Halloween. I haven't done a Halloween special for a couple of years, I think. I don't do Halloween. I turn all my lights out and don't answer the door. Thomas says, On the Bus is my favourite sitcom. Absolutely love it. I know every episode. I know. I was watching it last time we were on holiday recently in the caravan because I don't like to watch the news of the morning. So On the Buses has been repeated of a morning. So I would put that on in the caravan. And I just, I can never get my head round why these women, these dolly birds, would be going after um, Jack and what's his, I can't remember the name. It's Jack the conductor and the driver, Reg Varney's character. Stan. Is it Stan and Jack? I could I could never understand that. It was something we never ever had on when I was growing up because it was very much BBC was on when I was a child and growing up. Very ITV was hardly put on. So I didn't get to see those. I mean, I didn't even see George and Mildred when that was first on, but I absolutely adore George and Mildred. That's one of my favourite ITV sitcoms. Absolutely love George and Mildred. But it was never something we saw when it was, on, when it went out. It was always, things I remember watching growing up always tend to be BBC stuff like The Good Life, um, Faulty Towers, all that sort of stuff. So it's only sort of later that I discovered stuff. I mean, On the Buses, I do watch it, and I don't really know why. um, it's a bit cringy for me. I can understand why it was popular back in the day, but some of the sort of situations they get into, they've taken them directly from like musical comedy. You can see the heritage there. I think I saw one where they were trying to decorate the ceiling of the living room, and it was straight out of a sketch you'd have seen on, an old um, Sunday night at the London Palladium type thing. I've seen it done before, where they're sort of trying to get the paper and they put the paper over the ladder and then they walk up the ladder and of course they put holes in the paper and they put their foot in the bucket of paste, all that. So I saw an episode and thought, but a lot of the time I'm laughing because I'm laughing at the laughter because you hear some really hilarious laughter coming from mainly women. You can just picture what they'd look like, these older women, and the cackles and the laughter, and you think, and that's what makes me laugh rather than what's going on the screen. Um, but I can understand why you like it, Thomas. I mean, I'm sure it's certainly. I mean, yeah, it's better than Mrs. Brown's Boys, I have to say, because I have laughed at on the bits on the buses, but recent Mrs. Brown's Boys in the last few years, I don't even crack a smile. I did watch a bit of Cheers. Um, I like the theme tune to Cheers, but it wasn't really. I don't know. The sitcoms and I like are more domestic based. They're my favourites. So if they're based in something that's alien to me, which a bar is certainly alien to me, um, I tend not to sort of get involved in the situation because it's not familiar. Frasier was different because it was, well, obviously it was partly work based in the radio station and partly in Frasier's apartment. Um, And yeah, I got sucked into Frasier, not from the beginning. I sort of it's another thing that I came across by accident. Channel 4 were always showing it in the mornings. They probably still are. And then I sort of got involved in it. And I thought, oh, that Niles character, he must be gay. And obviously, I think he is gay in real life. And I think the father was in real life. I'm not sure about Eddie the dog. Um, but yeah, I just got drawn into that, and I did enjoy that. I mean, the character Frasier, like pompous so and so, he's not very nice. I don't like I didn't really like his character much. But the whole ensemble of Frasier was it was very good. Um, like Friends, you know. I cried at the last episode of Friends when they were leaving the keys on the counter and going to the coffee shop for the last time, going through that door, and the whole episode ends with the frame around the peephole on the door. So yeah, I've often when you get you watched a long running series for a long time and you watch the final one, although you know you'll be able to watch it again, it's quite emotional, isn't it? To think, oh, that's the last one, unless they bring it back. Some sitcoms they did bring back, and they shouldn't. They shouldn't have brought back. Heather loved Saint Elsewhere. Well, I remember Saint Elsewhere. It's not one I watched. It's on Channel 4 in the UK. Um, and yet, Love and Marriage, Love and Marriage. I've got the box set of Married with Children. I haven't got round to watching it. Oscar loves Faulty Towers. My favourite Faulty Towers episode is the psychiatrists with the husband and wife psychiatrist, but it was the Australian girl, and then there was the other character who he thought had smuggled a girl into his room, and it was when Basil was feeling for the light switch, and I think was it Marlene or something, the Australian character's name. She was doing some stretches, and he's feeling round, and he starts caressing her breasts, and then there's a bit where he's hiding in the cupboard to try and catch out the bloke who he thought had smuggled a girl into his room, and then she's coming out and he thinks it's her, and he grabs her, and he had some black stuff on his hands, some paint that was in the cupboard, and then of course there's two big handprints on her breasts, and then Sybil, that is my favorite. And then when Basil tries to see the room, see the girl in the room, he gets the ladders and he falls off the ladder, and Manuel rushes in and says to Sybil, oh, Mr. Faulty, Mr. Faulty, fall off the ladder, fall off a ladder. And Sybil says, fallen off a ladder? And then he said, yes, he's crazy about this girl. He tries to see the girl in the room. And then sort of Sybil gets the wrong end of the stick, goes out, all guns blazing. Basil manages to get himself up off the floor, puts the ladder up, and then Sybil gives him a big slap. So, that is... I was a bit young to watch that the first time round. I think I might have been only about 6 or something. So I didn't see that first time. I would have been in bed. But obviously I got to see it with the many repeats. So yeah, that's classic. I didn't know Seinfeld. I never got into that, Audrey. Never got into it. Or Open All Hours, Oscar. Or Last of the Summer Wine. I've been on the Last of the Summer Wine coach tour in Home Firth. But oh, my thing stopped. Oh, what's happened here? Oh, it's stopped again. Oh, I don't know what's going on with this. I'm going to have to monitor it, aren't I? Hang on. Oh, why has that happened? Oh, that's it. I bet it'll start again. I don't know. It's probably because it's been recording. I don't know. I'm going to have to do it in batches. Oh, crikey. Oh, this is what Sue was on about. Oh, no. I don't know if I was singing Ship of Fools or... It was... Look at that. Look at my waist. It's probably a clip of Erasure. Oh, there was a lot of skin and bone. Oh, I'll stop recording now. I'm going to have to... I can't really do this without monitoring it. I'll see where it stops. So when I put it into my computer. I'll just have to restart, I think. Crikey, 164 minutes. Zoe, you've missed loads. And so has Mark. Oh yes, One Foot in the Grave, of course, that was very good. Oh no, I never watched My Family either. That was another one I didn't like. I've just been watching. Funnily you say that, Thomas. I've just been watching Only Fools and Horses, only in the last few days. But my favourite episodes are the 50-minute ones. So I was watching series 6 and 7, and then some of the specials. I think I started watching at the episode Dates when he meets Raquel for the first time. And then I watched the series after that. And then I think it was Jolly Boys Outing, which is my favourite Christmas special, Jolly Boys Outing. And then I watched the other series after that. And then I think I've stopped because the next in sequence, because I went onto Wikipedia to check I was watching them in the correct sequence. I think after the final episode where Damien is born, I think it's the Miami Twice, the double Christmas episodes, which I didn't really like. So then it's, obviously I think after the next best episodes were when they found that watch and became millionaires. And then, to be honest, it should have ended there. But I think there was at least three more after that they decided to do. Another series I've been watching fairly recently, Royal Family. That is so good, and that had me crying as well. The Queen of Sheba episode when Nana dies, it's gets me every time. It's when Barbara is doing her mother's hair, putting her hair into curlers, and her mother sort of takes hold of Barbara's arm, and she says, "I do love you, Barbara." And oh God, tear up now. And that was so good, Royal Family, because then when that first started, it was like people were like, "What's this?" They just sat on a sofa. What's this about? And it soon hooks you in because you recognise so much of it that you know we've all there's all situations we all know people like that, or we've got family members like that, or we can recognise, So that was a very good comedy, and it's poor, Caroline Aherne, bless her, she's died now, so they could never ever do anything else. They would, and in fact, the actor who played Jim, he said he'd never ever do anything without Caroline. So we're not going to see a royal family update, and what could they do? But we can watch them and enjoy them. The Christmas one when Roger came round with Valerie with her implants. She got implants and a Dyson. Oh, I'd love a Dyson. Oh yes, I'd love a Dyson. And then in a later episode, Barbara actually gets a Dyson for Christmas off Anthony. The way they treated Anthony, especially Jim, it was awful. He was always making the tea and all this, and he kept calling him lazy. I thought that's totally unfair. Poor Anthony. I did watch Ain't Our Hot Mum, but again, because it wasn't really in a domestic situation, it didn't really grab me. Although I probably watched it when it was on. My mum and dad would have had it on, and of course, yes, Dad's Army. I did, and would still enjoy Dad's Army. I never saw Lost. Oh, Thomas says, I think that was voted the favourite because I thought, when I was thinking, I think, yeah, the Jolly Boys Outing, that's my favourite, and I thought that must be a fan favourite. So I googled it. I said, what's the best Only Fools and Horses Christmas special? And Jolly Boys Outing from this poll came out tops because it's got everything really. It's when he's reunited with Raquel and the bus blowing up. Going into that creepy B&B. That has to be my favorite special. I'm trying to think what my favorite. Well, the Danger UXD when they got those inflatable dolls filled with the flammable gas. That was so funny when they popped up behind the bar because they'd been put near the heating vent, and then they had to dress them up to get them out of the flat. And they came across this neighbour, this old black man, and David Jason had to throw his voice. The black man takes his cap off and says, "Good evening, ladies." And David Jason goes, "Good evening," and then grabs the arm of one of the dolls and sort of waves. Oh yeah, that I think that's probably one of my favourite. And Chain Gang, where they were sort of conned out of all that money and managed to find what this man was doing, and got their own back when they managed to sort of intercept him when he was having his fake heart attack in the ambulance. So yeah, there's a lot. But as I said, I think I have watched them all, but I think it really got into its stride when they did the 50-minute episodes, when Raquel and Cassandra came into it. I thought that added a new element, and it was really good. But yeah, I sometimes think they should have just left it when they were millionaires. It was just nice way to end it. But anyway, well, there I am again doing something silly. I've got Sasha. Oh, watching. Oh, I think Sue. I don't know if Sue's gone to bed. Bless her. Yeah, I know Sue liked watching. I've got watching on. I've got all of them on box set. With Lisa Tarr, Buck, Emma Ray, wasn't it? Yes, I did like watching as well, and Malcolm and his mother. That was a good sitcom. And there's loads. There's loads. I mean, you might know that comedy is my thing. It's what I watch more of anything is comedies. Don't like horror, don't like thrillers. I don't like reality TV, but comedies, it's what I would normally choose. I've just started watching, I don't know how many times I've watched it. Um, Catastrophe with, I've forgotten his name, the Irish woman and the big, I think he's Canadian. I think he plays I think he plays American. Rob, his real name, Rob, I can't remember him. Anyway, he floated my boat, I have to say, in that. My cup of tea. I think he's let himself go a bit. I saw him on Instagram recently and thought, yeah, you've let yourself go a bit. But then most of us have. I can't remember his surname. It's Rob somebody. I like more recent comedy. Motherland I quite like. A more recent. Oh, Two Doors Down though. That is I love Two Doors Down. I've seen that so many times. Of course, Dinner Ladies. I've seen Dinner Ladies. I couldn't count the number of times I've watched Dinner Ladies. Oh, Royal Family with Tom Courtney, Barbera, and them having fun on that sofa. I think there were only two series of Dinner Ladies, but um, they weren't. I think were there 8 episodes each. They weren't just 6 episodes. Um, it was slightly. I think it was only two series, but there were. I think there were 8 each, or at least the second series was 8 or 9, or was it 10? I don't know, but I know they were a bit longer than the standard 6 that we normally get in UK. I know Birds of a Feather, that when they did theirs, they were more than 6 normally. I think the first series was 6, and I think the second series might have been 8 or 10. But 6 seems to be the standard in British sitcoms for a series, wasn't it? 6 episodes. But yeah, there's certainly more than 12 episodes of Dinner Ladies. There might be 14 or 15. I can't remember. Not Going Out, again, that's something I've never watched. Motherland, the bit where Meg jumps on Amanda's Christmas tree. Oh yeah, that was that. Is that the Christmas episode when they go to Amanda's and spill the wine everywhere and try to cover it up with some powder, and it looks like they've all been snorting cocaine. Have I seen Ted Lasso on Apple? No, I'm aware of that name, Ted Lasso, but I wouldn't know what it is. Some others do have them, yes. I did enjoy that. Again, I bought the box set on DVD. I've got the box set of that. I think they've recently been on iPlayer, and there was recently a special with Michelle Patrice and what's his face, Michael Crawford, talking about it. Oh God, my back! I'm on the floor. My back's hurting. Poor Daisy. She's asleep on the floor next to me. She should be on the bed. Yeah, there's so many. There's probably I can probably think of more comedies. I could no. I'm trying to think. There's not many comedies I didn't get into. There's probably quite a lot, but you know, there's some like After Henry on ITV. I love that one. Very middle class. Fresh Fields, and then French Fields, which was okay but not as good. But yeah, my favourite ITV comedy definitely George and Mildred. I can guarantee, and I think my favourite BBC comedy, I think The Good Life. Birds of a Feather's pretty high up. Good Life has, I think Good Life has to come on top. But yeah, there's been so many good ones. At least we can still enjoy the old ones. Oh yes, so of course I watched Father Ted. Yes, did watch Father Ted. I did see Benidorm. I didn't mind the first two series, but then it got a bit, you know, I stopped really watching much of it. But the first two series, when it was quite new and fresh, definitely I did like that. Oh, Still Game, of course. Yes, I've watched so many. It's quite a lot of Scottish comedies. There was Naked Video back in the day. Rabsy Nesbitt, although I always had to have, back in the day of teletext subtitles, I always had to have the subtitles on for Rabsy Nesbitt. I couldn't understand half of what he was saying without subtitles. Oh, of course, Audrey. How could we not? Oh, it's my towel. It's finished. Listen to that noise. Does that take you back? Of course, Audrey, to the Manor-born. Yes, I love that. And also sort of connected to the Manor-born because it had one of the actresses, 3 Up 2 Down with Angela Thorne and Michael Elphick. Just Good Friends was okay. Oh, I could reel them off. Of course, I Being Served. Oh, there's so many. Steptoe and Son. But yes, so although I don't really watch much of the BBC content nowadays, I have to say they did do some excellent comedies. They were better than ITV, in my opinion. Although I say I have enjoyed some ITV. The Upper Hand, I enjoyed that on ITV. That was sort of based on the American sitcom Who's the Boss, where it had the male housekeeper. I quite liked that. That was a 90s sitcom. He had an Electrolux Dolphin, I think. I remember seeing one of those. One does remember the vacuums one sees. Of course, Margot had an Electrolux. I think it was it a Model 100 automatic? It kept whistling. I can tell you what vacuums Tracy Stubbs had as well. She had Hoover Turbo Power Junior. The first episode she had an Electrolux Twin Turbo or Turbo 2 Burgundy one. And then when one episode she had a Goblin Commander, I think it was. And of course, Margaret from Only Fools and not Only Fools and Margaret from well, the only vacuum I remember seeing in Only Fools and Horses, Vacal was using, was a Turbo Master, but it had a name Vacomatic on it or something. They'd blocked out the Hoover Turbo Master bit, but Dell called it the J. She said, "Can you turn off the J. Edgar Raquel?" Because he was on the blower. Um, yes, in One Foot in the Grave, Margaret had a Hoover. She had a Hoover Turbo Power Total System, and she had a Hoover Compact at one stage. I think there's a Dyson featured, possibly a Vax. Oh yes, and also 2.4 Children. That's another one. That's reminded me because she had a Vax in that in one episode. She also had a Goblin Rio, and then an AEG. Crikey, isn't it? You can tell I'm a bit weird knowing what vacuum cleaners. And I think Hester from Fresh Fields. Did I see her using a Hot Point Swallow? Very rare. She had a Hoover washing machine, and then I think she had a Zanussi one after that. Yeah. I always recognise the vacuums. They only had one vacuum in Coronation Street. They seemed to share it out in the earlier ones. You always saw the same Hoover Junior that needed a bearing change. Oh, dearie me. Oh, everyone's calling butterflies, of course. Butterflies. Oh yeah, ever decreasing circles. I've got all of these on DVD box sets. You know, I've got. If I'm mentioning, oh, worst week of my life. That's so funny. Yes, and there was the worst Christmas of my life as well. Mark likes that worst week. That was when he gets himself glued to his father-in-law, when he ruins the doll's house. He's trying to fix it, and they somehow get themselves stuck together. Oh, and when he's peeing on the goose. Oh, and Alison Steadman's character, he's pissing on the goose. Oh, crikey, it's bringing that. Oh, so funny, so funny that everything went wrong for Howard, didn't it? Oh, that's reminded me. Drop the Dead Donkey. Not Drop the. Yes, I did like Drop the Dead Donkey. I'm getting that confused with Smack the Pony. They're both horses and ponies. Yeah. So Drop the Dead Donkey. I enjoyed that as well. Smack the Pony. Yeah. Let's try and think of Channel 4 ones. They weren't really known for their sitcoms. There was that Desmond's, but I never got into that. Set in a hairdressers. Oh, Golden Girls, because that was on Channel 4. Yeah, I love the Golden Girls. Oh, crikey. There's a lot of, no, there's just so many. Yeah, so if the internet goes for some reason and I'm left with all my DVDs, I've got lots to keep me entertained. I say I've got the box. If I've liked comedy, I've always bought the box sets, and I've even got some more obscure stuff that you've never seen released on VHS or DVD, stuff that I've recorded myself, either on VHS or Red Dwarf, either on VHS or when I got my DVD recorder and recorded them directly onto DVD. I've got some quite obscure stuff I can't think of at the time, but there was one called the Gem. Nobody will know this one, I doubt. There was one sort of in the early 2000s, I think, called the Gemma Factor. I watched that because it was set around here, I think more Hebden Bridge way. It was about this young girl who wanted to be famous or something, and I think her grandmother was played by I was going to say Gwyneth Strong, but that's the wrong, because Gwyneth Strong is Cassandra, the lady that played Mrs. McCluskey in Grange Hill. I can't remember her name now. I don't know if that was the Gwyneth. Gwen, was it? No. Now I'm thinking of Gwen Taylor from Duty Free, which I also enjoyed. What didn't I like? There's not many I didn't like. I can't, there's a few I didn't. Ah. Oh. Yes, I better I'll turn you all off in a minute. Or The Prisoner. No, I never watched that. We could have gone to Portmeirion twice, where The Prisoner, is it Portmeirion? They don't let dogs in. We were near Portmeirion the last time we were in Wales. Mark wanted to go, but they still didn't allow dogs. And the first time we were in Wales, we wanted to go to Portmeirion. No dogs allowed in Portmeirion. But no, that I never watched that. Oh, Mum. Gosh, that's an obscure one. Yes, I did record Mum. Again, because I quite fancied the son in that. Yes, with I don't remember the actor's name, but the woman who played Mum, she was also in Waiting for God, wasn't she? Which I did watch, but it wasn't one of my favourites. Let's just switch off. You're going to turn off? Yeah. Turn all my bits off. Is that all off? Oh, there was some. It's QVC. It was QVC's 30th birthday, I think, yesterday. I recorded the first 3 hours of QVC 30 years ago, which I've got somewhere on a. I think I've put it on a disc now. But there was they had three today's special values, and have I what if it's after? I don't know what the time is. Have I missed out? I don't think I will bother. There was a Shark spot washer, which I can buy from Very for about the same price as their TSV, and they did a Shark heater / purifier, and then a Ninja thing. But I've no idea what the time is. Let's have a look. Oh, okay, it's only 10:48. I have still time if I. No, I'm not tempted. I'm not tempted. I've bought enough. I need to get rid, not buy. Oh, of course. Oh, look, so many. Yes, Minister and yes, Prime Minister. Of course, keeping up appearances. Yes. Oh, yes, brush strokes. Yes, of course. Got that. I've got those on boxed set. Layla's going to bed. Good night. Lisa says they used to have dogs as there's a picture of the owner with a Cavalier King Charles. Who used to have dogs? Get off, Daisy. Not sure who these dogs are you're talking about, Lisa. See, Heather, I did watch Bread a bit, but I didn't like Bread because they were sponges. I didn't like that. I was very, very conservative growing up, and I didn't think it was right that these people were getting benefits and sort of, what's the word, not abusing the system, but they were working the system to their advantage. But now I've changed my mind, and it's I don't mind now, because if people, as long as they're not doing anything illegal as such, if they're doing whatever they can to get by, and if it means taking some I mean, I don't know what's going on now. People can just claim benefits. It's supposed to be cracking down on that anyway, aren't they? I did claim the dole, as it was called, for a few months. Oh no, it was twice I was on the dole. Once when I was in between school and getting my first job, I claimed my fortnightly dole money when I was living at home and didn't have to pay rent. So I don't know what it was. It might have been £28 or something a fortnight. So on the day I used to collect it, I never liked doing it because it was in the local post office in the village, and the postmaster was a bit, not very nice. But I used to collect it, and then I normally used to go into York with my dole money and buy buy CDs and things with it. But and then I was on the dole when I moved here. After I'd spent all my in redundancy money, I did sign on, but I was only signed on for about 2 weeks after my first visit to the job centre. I thought, oh, I don't want to do this again. So then I thought, oh, I'll just get a job at Asda. So that's what I did, because I didn't like going down to sign on. Porridge, it was okay, but again, not a favourite. It was all right, but it's not one I own the box set of. Didn't David Essex? I don't know. I vaguely remember something on a canal boat. I'm not sure if he did that. It was a sitcom. Was that the sitcom with Emma Ray in it from Watching, or was it someone else? There's quite a lot of obscure ones. I remember a sitcom with Peggy. What's her name? Peggy from Heidi High. Oh, crikey! What's her real name? Oh, Sue Pollard. There was a sitcom with Sue Pollard in before Heidi High, and it was a bit confusing because there was a sitcom Three Up, Two Down with Michael Elphick, and then there was a sitcom before that called Two Up, Two Down, and that definitely had Sue Pollard in it. That's a very obscure one. I've never seen that repeated. I vaguely remember that one. And there was something, was it Stay Lucky? Was that on a canal boat? Or was Stay Lucky the one with Dennis Waterman and Emma Ray? I don't know. It's not one I watched. Oh, yeah, there was another one with Carl Howman in after Brushstrokes. Was it called Mulberry or something? I didn't really get into that either. Did he play a ghost or something? Oh, of course, yes. I'm talking. Of course, we haven't mentioned Heidi High. Of course, Heidi High. Oh, and moving on from Heidi High, of course, I loved You Rang My Lord, and Oh Dr. Beeching, again featuring a lot of the same people. I enjoyed that as well. I think You Rang My Lord was better than Oh Dr. Beeching. But yeah, crikey, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of some obscure ones. But I think my dad was into comedy. He liked the Goons. You know, I used to hear the Goons on. He used to get played the Goons tapes and things. Um, so he liked comedy. So I probably picked up my love of comedy from my dad, because I don't think my mum really was into comedy. Really, she didn't find things funny. Then I remember laughing really loudly on the Only Fools and Not Only Fools, the One Foot in the Grave Christmas special, One Foot in the Algarve. It's the bit because I was upstairs watching it with my eldest brother, and my mum and dad were watching it downstairs on Christmas Day. And there was the bit where the donkey is following Victor around, and it somehow gets backed into the apartment, or the what do they call them? Not apartments. What do they call those houses on holiday that you rent? Villa, whatever. Anyway, the black bloke who jumped into the sea because they thought Mrs. Warboys had got in there. Anyway, he comes back. He's having a nice bath, and somehow this donkey gets backed into the bathroom and starts peeing in the bath, and he thinks it's his wife topping it up with hot water. And I remember I could hear my mum squealing with laughter from downstairs when that was on. It's something I remember because I don't often remember my mum laughing at stuff, but that I distinctly remember laughing at that. Oh yes, I like To Lower Low. Oh, Shine on Harvey Moon. Yeah, I've got the DVDs, but I don't think they're complete. I did like that because again that features Linda Robson and oh god, I'm getting old. I can't remember. Linda Robson and the fat one. Oh, Pauline Quirk. Yeah, they because Pauline Quirk's character always had a bit of didn't she have a plaster over one of the eyes on the glasses? Yeah, I like Shine on Harvey Moon with with Reet living in her prefab. That was very good. That was sort of comedy slash drama, wasn't it? And Alvida's Own Pet, I was sort of thinking, because I think they were the same production company, Wits End Productions. I think they both did Shine on Harvey Moon. I could go on Mastermind, couldn't I? Wits End Productions, I'm sure they did Alvida's Own Pet, Shine on Harvey Moon. Yeah, that was good as well. But that was more of a dramedy than a sort of laugh out loud comedy. There was funny bits in it, obviously. But yeah, I did like that. Um, with Elizabeth Spriggs as his mother. Oh, and now I'm thinking of another sitcom with a Shine on Harvey Moon connection, Jam and Jerusalem, because it had the actress who played Rita. She was in Jam and Jerusalem, as were French and Saunders, of course, and Sue Johnson from the Royal Family. And in the first series, we also had Joanna Lumley. So, oh yeah. So yeah, comedy. Comedy shaped the way I am. I think I'm I think comedy's saved me many times. I can imagine being the sort of person that just likes horror films and slasher films and violent stuff. I can't get my head around people like that, and who decorate their homes with skulls and dark things, and these goths. And I can't. If you surround yourself, if you wear black all the time, you surround yourself with occult images and skulls, and I don't think that's good. That's going to bring you down, I think. Um, so I'm pleased, I suppose. I don't, I like quite happy music and comedies. I like the odd dramas, mainly historical dramas and things, and I do like the odd historical factual stuff. But yeah, it's always been for me. It's always been comedy. I've always enjoyed laughing. I've always enjoyed making other people laugh if I can. That's always nice to do. So I've got into trouble doing that sometimes, of course, because I go a bit far. Got into trouble at school and sometimes at work. As time goes by again, I think I bought some of the DVDs, but again, it was not one I could really get into. Oh, but that's reminded me of A Fine Romance. I did like that one. Of course, with Judi Dench. That was another ITV one, which was good. Thorax Heard. Well, she was in Loving Memory. Again, I think that was set. Again, that was filmed around where I live in a village nearby. But I could never really get into that in Loving Memory. Nearest and Dearest. I'm starting to think of older ones now. I think I did buy the box set of that, but it's not one I've really watched. I have one Quentin. You are a furry. I'm not sure. You need to translate that into English, I think. What else? What else can we? I think crikey, why did I do this? I should have not. You see, it's me all over. Just do anything to stop me from. Oh, I've just seen a pile of. Oh, crikey, the mess. There's another load of stuff there. Can you see that pile there next to the headphones? That's DVDs, but they're special Panasonic ones. They're gold colour. The Panasonic did these. I think they might be in the first. Let me just show you what they look like. I've got one out on the top. Oh no, was it that? A DVD RAM? Can you see? I don't know. Some of these won't play because I didn't. You see, they're a bit different. Oh, he's running a thing. I don't know what's. Oh, there's nothing. DVD RAM disc. Oh no, yes, because some of them came in cartridges to protect them. That might be blank. So there's something I lost, and I'm hoping I find it. But it might be on one of these because some of these won't. Yeah, I know you need to finalise. But some of these won't play back on other equipment, so that's why I've got. Well, I haven't got it here, but I've got an older DVD recorder. But there's a Hoover washing machine demo video that I had and lost. I sold the original VHS, but that's because I'd copied it onto one of these, I think, and I haven't been able to find it. And I'm sure the washing machine fans on my channel would love it. It was like a 10-minute video about the Hoover Logic washing machines. It was very, very 80s looking with 80s music, and it's fantastic. Oh, I might have it somewhere, but I remember looking before years ago for it, and I thought, where's it gone? I might have binned it by mistake because it wouldn't have played, and I didn't think of trying another recorder or something. I don't know. Who knows? I'll say a little prayer to the video gods, and hopefully I'll find that, because that the people on my other channel the washing machine fans would like to see that. Oh, Daisy, I know it's bedtime. It's raining again. No plans. If I sell any Dysons, well, yes, I'm going to be selling a Dyson Omni Glide because I've got 2 now. I don't need 2, so that'll be probably the next one I'll be selling. I don't really have that many left. I've got all the cordless ones that I've ever had. I'll probably get rid of some of those at some point while they're still working. Oh yes, I like Blackadder. Lisa has Blu-ray and DVD player. There is software that allows Blu-ray to play on DVD. I've got Blu-ray machines. I think I found I've got 3 I don't know why I've got 3. Because I bought a Sony one, an upscaling one, and then for some reason I've got another one somewhere, a smaller, cheaper one, and then I found a full-sized Philips one. I thought, why have I bought that? I don't understand why I keep buying these things. But I'm selling that when I've got everything, or when I've transferred all my mini discs, I'm selling that because that particular model is going for about £200 on eBay. But my one is boxed, instructions, remote, hardly used, so might go for a bit more. I might try and get £250 for it, because once I've got all the information I need off my mini discs, I don't need to keep the machine. I don't know why I bought the mini disc player, to be honest, but anyway, typical. Right, I think I best be off, folks. 201 minutes. I've had 29 viewers and 29 thumbs up. Yeah, I think it's my bedtime. It's certainly Daisy's. Oh, bless her heart. Daisy May. I really need to put you out for a piddle before. Oh. No, you just hang on. Let me. Oh, you like your belly. Ooh. Daisy May. Oh, I must take my CBD. Where is it? Where's my CBD? Chewy things. I've got some strawberry flavoured CBD, haven't we? I'll take 2 of those. You. My little girl, aren't you? My Daisy May. Don't look like that. It looks frightened. We might have a storm. Well, that's not forecast, is it? A storm? Oh, there was supposed to be a storm last week. Oh, she's coughing. Yeah, there's supposed to be this storm. Making a big thing about it on the telly, and they said, oh, there could be a chance of power cuts. So I thought, oh well, I'll just charge up all my cordless lights I've got several, so I just plugged them all in just to top them up just in case. And there was nothing. We barely got any rain, so I don't know what that was about. Ooh, Daisy May. Pretty. So it's very mild though, still very, very mild, but I don't think that's a bad thing. Saves putting the central heating on. Hey, if we can avoid doing that, Daisy May, save some pennies. We're going to bed now. I think we ought. I better go down and check Mark's turned the lights off and locked up, because he's gone to bed, I'm sure. You're so pretty, Daisy May. You're a very lucky dog, you are. And Molly. You don't yawn, everyone see you've no teeth. She's got some at the back. Hey. She's been letting off something chronic recently, though. Isn't she? Oh, Daisy May. You going to make that little noise? Oh, you're not doing it. You normally make that noise when I do your ears. Oh. Oh. Hey? So pretty. Oh, ouch. Bloody hell. Right, okie dokie, folks. I best be off. So I was only going to have a quick thing to show you my new device and tell you that I'll be putting loads of old vintage me up, and not just my old radio shows, but old VHS stuff. And the other format cassette I've got, the other mini DV cassette I've got with footage on. Oh, I've got I haven't got many VHS tapes to do. Maybe 20. That'll be one of my dad's old ones. It's a high end. Oh, it's got my dad's sticker in it thing. Oh, it's still got the tab on it, look. These would have been a real, you know, expensive Scotch Pro tapes. Wonder what's on that. I will find out. I need to just, I've got some sticky pad notes somewhere. I bought some sticky notes up. So when I find out what's on each tape, I'll write on the sticky thing, and hopefully they'll stay stuck. Oh, crikey, look, that's the original tape I got from Hoover. Anyway, it says not for public showing, but everything that was on this tape that Hoover sent me, whoops, has been uploaded to my other channel. I'm sure that the Hoover that sent me this don't exist anymore, so they're not going to be bothered. But a lot of the people who worked for Hoover are no longer with us, or certainly retired, that's for sure. Right then, folks, I best be off. Thanks for the chat. It's all been a bit one-sided, although I have interacted. It was nice talking about the olden days, the 80s, and the comedy shows and things. So, as I said, I have recorded a pre-recorded video where I take a little bit of a tour of where I was at last week with the mess, and have a bit of a chat about things and a bit of a blub, I'm afraid. I can't remember what for. Oh yes, I can remember now. It wasn't much of a blub, but there was a bit of a moment, a bit of a, you know, what's that when you get in your, not frog in your throat, lump, that's it. A bit of a lump in your throat moment, sort of thing, you know what I mean. When one gets a little bit emotional about things. Right, so nighty-nighty, everybody. Audrey, make sure Bertie is in his basket, won't you? So, see you all very soon. Bye-bye.